Yo, what's up? My name's Petrowski. Welcome back to the PokeMMO Iron Man account. This is episode 7 of our progress. All right, so just in case you don't know... Oh, you already know what an Iron Man account is? You've heard me explain it at the beginning of every video for the past 6 videos? Okay, let's just jump into it then. All right, so these are the PokeMMO Iron Man goals. You already know that these are the goals. You actually are... You know, you've seen this a million times. You actually are pissed that I barely completed any of them in the last episode. Oh, okay, we probably should get started then. Alright, but just in case you don't know, I will be working towards the Articuno catch still throughout this series, the infamous grind that totally halted me in the last episode. You see, I've done about 6,000 or so encounters going for a legendary Pokemon in the month of June in 2025 in PokeMMO. The legendary rate is somewhere around 1 in 5,000, but we don't actually know. The developers of PokeMMO keep it a secret for some reason. And I spent about 30 hours hunting for one of these darn legendary Pokemon running back and forth in Kanto, and I plan to do it again this week, doggummit. I'm starting this episode at 316 hours played and about 11,600 encounters. I also have a Safari Zone themed catch event to go to tomorrow morning for the chance of winning some more RP on the account, and better yet, catch a bunch of Magikarps, which will help me work towards a Charizard breeder for the eventual raids during the holiday season in PokeMMO. There's also a shiny Venonat up for grabs, but I think if I win another catch event, the community might riot. I've been seriously lucky on the account so far, so I understand the outrage. But you can't get lucky on everything. That's just life. So that's why we're still here at Articuno, and hopefully I'll see you guys with some good news soon. Or I'll see you tomorrow for a fun catch event. Alrighty, good morning, another beautiful day on the Iron Man account on stream. How are we doing today? We are right now headed over to an Alpha Corsola over at Route 40 in Johto. That'll be a good Water A egg group breeder, which is one of the better egg groups in PokeMMO. A lot of Pokemon are in the Water A egg group, as well as Water A and Water C split, I believe. As well as we have a catch event today in about 40 minutes, okay? So I need to make sure I have a synchronized Pokemon prepared for that. Make sure I can actually get over to this Corsola in time, hopefully get the catch. We have the Alpha catch. We have the catch event in 40 minutes. Until that catch event, what I'm probably going to do, I have 2 options. I could hunt for Articuno still, or I could get an encounter every 1 step and get a tentacle, of course. Too much water, true. I could hunt for Articuno still, or I could EV train some of the Pokemon sitting on my boxes, and I haven't really decided. I might do some EV training. I might make some actual factual progress. Wow. Okay, I might make some because I've been doing so much RNG dependent running back and forth for Articuno. It would be nice to make some actual factual progress. I'll see you guys with the Corsola catch though. Okay, for reference, don't recover. I'm losing my fucking mind. This is my 3rd time trying to catch this Corsola. It's so annoying. It has recover. I have thrown, I think, 6 to 8 timer balls with it in red, at least red HP and asleep. I have not seen a single shake. Not even have I not caught it, and I've been catching it for, I thought I was gonna, I'll do some EV training, maybe catch Articuno before the catch event starts. This is my first shake. No, I've just spent fucking 28 minutes catching this fucking Corsola, bro. Some alphas, I always say, some alphas just decide they want to be a pain in the ass and really bother you that day, and that's how it goes. Please catch. So sometimes an alpha catch just decides it wants to annoy you, and today Corsola wanted to, it happens. It happens. Please don't go indignant. I will actually crack under the pressure. Catch. This has got to be it. This has got to be it, boys. It's my last chance. My Iron Man loves to catch things with the last chance. Come on. Oh yeah. It always, if it breaks one more time, it like definitely goes indignant. My Iron Man account always wants to wait until the very last moment. You know what? It's worth it. That was worth the power struggle, the 30 minutes to catch that. 3 times 31, plus 25 plus in defense, ridiculous IVs. Yeah, this is actually insane. Water A is a very, very good aid group. I think things like Kabutops is in this aid group. I don't have it in my decks. Things like, what else? There's a lot of Water A Mons that are very, I think Dragonite. This is a straight up Dragonite breeder. Like, this is it's naughty nature. This is a very, very, very good catch. Yeah. Plus, it's a head smash. You're right, head smash, like, egg move breeder if I need that. That's something that hurts my brain that I have to think about I have to think about, like, egg breeding all the Iron Man. That's good, like egg move breeding. All right, we're done the Corsola. We have 10 minutes until the event starts. I'm just gonna go, I think, grab my Sticky Hold. Maybe go do a few encounters in Kanto Wild, but then grab my Sticky Hold Pokemon, head over to the event, and get prepped for the Safari Zone event. I just realized that I'm probably gonna catch a ton of Magikarps in this hour. I have 8 minutes to clean my boxes. So let's do as much of the, oh goodness. Oh, Let's do as much of that as possible really quick. Holy. All right, we managed to get 60 Pokemon. I'm really proud of that. We got like 60 Pokemon in like 6 minutes to release. Boom. There's a lot of Mons all released. Okay. Whew. There we go. Now we have to get everything organized is the next problem. So let's go ahead and get things moved over into other boxes. The catch event starts in like less than a minute. So we are pushing it, fellas. We are pushing it. Let's get everything moved over. Boom. Boom. Even like this. Sort by something. It doesn't even honestly matter. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our boxes are organized. We have 2 open boxes for these Magikarps. Let's head into the Safari Zone. The catch event is about to start. We have our Sticky Hold Muck to lead our party. I'm personally going to be going for the Magikarp strategy, and that will allow me to catch a bunch of Dragon Egg Group breeders and hopefully breed up a Charizard and lots of other good Pokemon in the Dragon Egg Group. I need to switch over to my old rod. I believe the catch event just started. It is 11 a.m. officially. Gotta get my old... I was really scared there. I didn't have my old rod in Kanto. It's very possible. Okay, I'm gonna sit... Nice shiny. I'm gonna sit right here. We're gonna fish. We're gonna catch Magikarps. The event has begun. I'll see you guys with any cool catches. All right, only 4 catches in. We're 2 minutes in. Got a 1x31 speed. I will take that very, very happily. We're gonna be getting a ton of good catches throughout this. I don't know if I'll show every single 1x31 because we'll be catching like 3 carps two carps a minute maybe. Probably 2 carps a minute, and that will equate to 120 total carps. You should get a 1x31 every 6 or so Pokemon. So with that math factored in, our trusty Windows calculator over on the bottom right hand corner of our screen, that ends up being 120 divided by 6. It's if I catch 2 per minute. Honestly, it's not as many as I expected. That equals 20 1x31 Pokemon. That's not as crazy as I thought. We might see 1 2x31 as well on average-ish. All right, the catch event is over. I don't know if I have anything worth submitting, to be totally honest, but I can at least go sort breeders, see how many 1x31s we got, see the total loot of farming Magikarp for 1 hour in the Safari Zone. All right, we caught a lot of carps, as you can see. This is my highest one over in this box. Came out 111, nothing here, but look at this. Boom, a full box of 60 more carps, and then boom, another box. We caught about, I want to say 80-ish. We caught about 80 carps. 80 carps in the hour. Pretty happy with that. I was a little distracted, a little bit of rants at times, but pretty happy with that. Okay, let's go ahead and see what my highest catch is. It's this Pokemon right here, this carp. 140. So that's not going to be worth submitting. And my lowest catch is a 42. So nothing for me to submit. That's how it goes. Like your average catch event catches should be like 40 to 120, maybe 60 to 120. Like I always try to encourage people, don't feel bad if 99% of catch events you don't have a submission. That's math. That's how it goes, right? Let's go ahead and now sort through all of the carps that don't have a 31 and probably just release like pretty much all of them. So let's go ahead and do this. Even the ones that are pretty high stated. Well, this one's really high stated, to be fair, and it's what has special attack though. Let's do this first. Let's move these over to any box that I can fit them because I'm running out of space, which is, really sucks. We got 2 more over here. We caught about how many 1x31s? Let's do 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if these were all here. We probably caught about 20 or so, maybe 15. Probably 15 or so. 15 or so Magikarps with 1x31s. I'll take that for sure. Not too shabby. Good breeders. Okay, this was really hard to sort through, man. This actually, like, really is going to hurt me. I have about 80 carps to release after, and that's after, like, I sorted through a bunch. This is tough, but I think there's some good ones in here that, like, I really want. Like, I'm tempted to keep, like, this one. Like, I'm tempted to keep some of these. Like, this one that's only missing Spidef. I almost want to keep it, but I can't warrant the space, man. 2 high IVs. Maybe I'll exclude those and just see what it leaves me with. Maybe I do keep these, but it's this one I don't. This one's no. This one maybe. This one's male, and then it's only missing Spidef, I think. Oh no, this is a different one. It's missing Spidef, and no, that's a release. Even it hurts, man. That's it really, yeah. And these gotta go. Release. One of the hardest parts of this account is releasing so many Pokemon. It feels so bad and it's so painful. but you got to keep your boxes clean. You got a lot of Pokemon to catch, a lot of catch events. Here is, I now have about 3.5 boxes of Pokemon. I've cleared box 5. I've cleared my release box again. We've got our storyline box here at some point. UTs, we got to start training. Look, but look at these. My noted, my 1x31, both full, and then my 2x31 more is like getting there. Not good. Now, let's go use a bunch of the carps we caught. Let's go try to get ourselves some Zard breeders to continue breeding up this Charmander while we wait for the catch event results. All right, this was always the plan. It's officially time to start breeding, okay? I have this Charmander. He's got 31 in 3 stats. I want to get special attack on him. I need a fellow 3x31 breeder to get that, and then I'll need a 4x31 breeder to match that as well. So, first things first, we need to create 2 different 2x31 breeders. So I'm going to go ahead and breed this Magikarp with this Gyarados, get myself a special attack brace and a defense brace, get this egg cooking, and then we'll go ahead and work on another 2x31 to match up with this guy, depending on its gender. So we'll have to wait a little bit. We'll do some extra breeds while we wait for this. Make sure to watch my cash stack deplete here, though. I started at 1,394,000 Pokeyen. Let's see how much it costs us today to do some breeds. This is a great point, since it might not be obvious. Coming from RuneScape, I have a lot of like Iron Man prerequisite understandings of what that entails. But if you don't know RuneScape, it's less intuitive. So a lot of people have asked, is it okay to have alt accounts on your same Iron Man login and then use those for box space? And in my opinion, absolutely no. I think that would be totally against the Iron Man game mode and the spirit of the mode. That's just group Iron Man. That's a thing that people do in RuneScape, is play group Iron Man, where you can trade between like 4 different accounts of your own or different friends, right? That's a group Iron Man at that point, right? You need to always, having multiple accounts. An Iron Man account, in my opinion, is one character. It is an Iron Man character, right? That can only log in. Having multiple alt accounts, logins, even on the same account, for box space, in my opinion, that is against the rules. In my opinion, that is very much not an Iron Man account, a group Iron Man, which is fine. Feel free to play whatever the game mode the way you want to, but just I wouldn't call an Iron Man account if it is using alt accounts like that. That's a group Iron Man, in my opinion. All right, we have our first 2x31 carp and our new 2x31 carp. I need to make sure I breed this one female so it can actually be compatible with this one. This one will come out 3x31 in HP, defense, and special attack, which I'll then need to make sure that I breed the carp as a male and make sure I breed the Charmander as a female, and then I'll be able to make this Charmander 4x31 with that Spatek stat. So I'll be needing one more stat on the Charmander and nature. The problem is getting nature. If I randomly roll modest along the way, that's ideal. Other than that, I'm gonna have to breed a ton of carps over and over and over again until I eventually get a modest 4x31 breeder. All right, while we are waiting for that next carp to hatch, I'm gonna go ahead and just get another breed going. Which one is this? Yeah, that one, perfect. This is gonna be the start to the speed IV as well. As you can see here, did I fuck up? Breeding mistakes are gonna happen. There's a good example of one. It's going to happen, man. When you breed so much, no matter how many hours you have in PokeMMO, mistakes like that are going to happen. There's so many things to factor in. I made an oopsie. All right, here we are. I fixed it. There we go. 2x31 Dragon Egg Groupmon coming up. That'll get the speed stat one starting to brew. Once this Magikarp is hatched, I'll breed these 2 together. I will need I forget which braces for that. We'll wait for the hatch to see which braces I need for that. The egg hatches just take a while, unfortunately, one of the worst parts here, because having lack of donor status on the Iron Man account, definitely a disadvantage in this situation. All right, next up is the important 3x31 Magikarp breed. The nature, the gender on this actually really does matter. This must come out female so that I can make it compatible with my current Charmander and make my Charmander up to a 4x31. The dream here is rolling a modest nature on either this carp right now or this Charmander. I'm actually doing a fair bit of breeding. I'm running a little bit low on Pokeballs. I'm going to go dump a lot of Pokeyen on Pokeballs. I need a lot of you need so many. I need Quick Balls as well. Let's go stock up on Pokeballs. All right, we are over here at the Pokeball place now. I have 85 net balls. I want to just stock up on everything, honestly. I'm going to spend a lot of money, I think. I'm going to buy more Nest Balls. Nest Balls have been really cool on the account. I don't really... I'm good. Pokeyen is made to be spent. That's the goal on this account. Dust Balls, I actually do need a ton of. I'm going to drop money, boys. I'm going to drop money. Boom. 179 Dust Balls. Timer Balls, we're pretty stocked up on, but you know what? Screw it. Let's get more. 47 would be... Let's do 10 more. We're spending a lot on Pokeballs here. Repeat balls, I don't really need. Quick balls, I do need. Let's do 80. Oh my goodness, my Pokeyen stack. Luxury balls, let's buy a few more. These are just for like fun. Buy 30 more. And then... Wait, they don't have Pokeballs in this Pokemart? That's kind of fun. I didn't know that. Okay. I just spent like 400 to 500k. I think 500k. 400k? Pokeballs. Here's the big one, chat. 1,000 Pokeballs. This should last me a while. Boom. 200k on Pokeballs. We'll buy 2 more for 1,025 Pokeballs. Great Balls I actually do want more of. We'll buy 75 of these. And then Ultra Balls we will buy like 100 of each. We'll buy like 57. I am down to 484k. I gotta do a gym rerun today now. I feel like to like make up for all that. I need some more repels as well. I'd rather just stock up. It's better to spend your money. Spend money to make money. Spend money to make progress. Your money on an Ironman account is here to be spent. To make proper. Let me copy and paste. Let me actually just buy like 20 of each of these. These are really nice to have in mass. And they're really cheap. It costs like 6k to buy 20 of these. All the awakenings, all the status heals and all those. Escape ropes, we have plenty. Expert lures I kind of do need more of, but I don't want to get too many right now. They're pretty expensive on the Iron Man. That's one thing where like, when I get a ton of money, I can work on that better or waste those more, but... Max repels. You actually do need like a fair amount of like each type of repel. Like it actually really matters. I'll get like 40 more max repels. That's actually not that expensive. Okay, let's just go ahead and get 100 of each repel. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to calm down. I'm going a little crazy. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done. I just spent about $1 million. That's how fast. Like this will last me a while. Don't get me wrong. This will last me a while, but you can blow through Pokeyen on an Ironman account, man, or just on any account. You can spend Pokeyen very, very quickly. I need the Amulet coin farm to get more Amulet coins, and then yeah. Let's go back to our breeds. We still have some Pokemon left to breed, thankfully. I'll have to do a gym run soon, though. We got our 3x31 Charmander. We're about to make our first. This is our first. Yes, this is our first ever 4x31 breed on the account. Okay, let's just show the whole process because this is gonna be beautiful. This is our first ever 4x31 on the entire account. Okay, let's go do it. Let's go do it, boys. I need Attack Brace and Bidef. Attack Brace on the Harp. Bidef Brace on the Charmander, I believe. And I need to make sure this comes out female or I'm trolling. Female. I'm gonna click it now. 4x31. Now, the problem is gonna be getting nature on this thing. It's about to become a nightmare, which I'm not looking forward to. I don't know how I'm gonna do on an Ironman account. It's way tougher. On a main account, you can buy a breeder. I need to probably Everstone up the modest nature and just go for it. I'm down to 197k. Holy shit. All right, but our Charmander has hatched. It came out hasty nature, so no modest nature, unfortunately. That's okay. We expected to have to fix that, but this is our first 4x31 Pokemon on the account, which feels pretty fucking cool. So there's an alpha spawn right now over in Unova, over at what is it, Celestial Tower, excuse me. And I was checking to see if I had it in my boxes. You know, it's a pretty cool alpha, and I thought I did. I thought I had one of these, so I wasn't in a rush to go get it. But no, I don't. I don't have one of these. This is a Ninetales alpha. This is a Drought Ninetales. If you don't know, this is probably not the most important alpha, maybe one of the most important ones that I have left. Easily one of the most important alphas in the entire game. I definitely want to go ahead and actually take the time to catch these Vulpixes on the side before I even do the Ninetales encounter. This is the most important raid Pokemon probably in all of PokeMMO. Like no bullshit, no drama. Like having a Drought Ninetales to set Sun is unbelievably crucial. So hell yeah, I'm lucky. I actually just got home from the movie theater with my wife. Nice little movie night, and now I get to top it off by catching a super important alpha, dude. Life's good. Now, I wasn't actually thinking for a quick sec. I can actually really quickly check to see if these Vulpixes are worth catching, because if they have hidden ability access, we'll actually see the sun pop up at the very start of the fight, because it's a drought, you know, it's a weather setting ability. So we can just go ahead and check to see, is there a sunset? Nope. We just run away. All right, last little baby Vulpix spawn, and then we'll go ahead and take on the big alpha spawn. Any sun. Show me the drought ability. An extra one would be amazing. Having duplicate Ninetales would be fantastic. One for PVM, one for PvP. But nope, that's okay. I will be very, very happily take just one alpha Ninetales. Thank you very much. Let's jump into this fight. One of the most important hidden ability Pokemon in PokeMMO. It's female. It's good. It's very, very good. So I don't have to use a Ditto to rebreed it. Ooh, okay. I will say there are a few alphas you want to be really careful about skill swapping contrary onto, because sometimes you end up with situations like this. This alpha Ninetales is using Overheat, which would normally reduce its special attack by 2 stats. It's actually gaining. It's kind of like the contrary Leaf Storm superior problem, where it's actually going to gain +2 special attack every single time it goes for that move and be a real menace. So we got to be really careful from here on. There it is again with the Overheat. It essentially gets to use like a really high base power move, get off a ton of damage, and then also boost its stats to do more damage the next time, every single time it uses it. This is why it's so dang important to have a superior check in PvP. Oh, fuck. I didn't know this thing had Pain Split either. And that was information. My Discord does an amazing job. They shouted out everything this thing has. They said, hey, this has Overheat, Energy Ball, Pain Split, Power Split. They even said, caution, be aware of contrary/overheat. So I had all the information at my disposal thanks to the amazing people in my Discord. I just didn't read it properly. And that is a skill gap if I've ever seen one. Whew, thankfully, still managed to get myself in a positive situation. Turn 17, very low HP, and asleep. We got it on the very first timer ball. All right, the stats on this thing matter a ton. Serious nature is unfortunate, but it could be a lot worse. That's okay. We'll have to breed it. Let's go ahead and check the IVs. Unfortunately, not very good, but that's okay. We got one. That's all that matters. As soon as you have the Pokemon with hidden ability access, we can spend as much time in Pokeon as we need. We need to earn some more Pokemon, by the way. Look at that stack. Whew. We can earn it back. We can fix this, right? We can solve this problem. It's still, honestly, it only needs 2 stats. I'd prefer these to be like the 31s. The 31 attack is wasted. That will get bred off of it, but things could be a lot worse, for sure. It's also in a pretty easy egg group. Field egg group is pretty easy to get breeders for. How easy will it be for alpha breeders to keep its alphaness? I don't know. There becomes a whole question of, is it really worth to keep alpha Pokemon as alphas on an Iron Man account? And logically and pragmatically and efficiency wise, it's absolutely not. If you don't know, you can actually breed like this alpha Ninetales, for example, with just a male field egg group Pokemon. It will keep the hidden ability on the Ninetales as long as it's the female in the species, of course, but it will lose its alphaness. And the alphaness, all it really does is like a special red glow. And it's kind of like, if it comes out shiny, it could be Shalfa. That's the main thing. But it's tough to let go of that. I don't know how to explain. It's a really cool little feat to keep on to, in my opinion. So I like trying to keep the alphaness on things like that. But when it comes to the Iron Man account, maybe we'll have to sacrifice some of those red glows. All right, good morning. It is a new day, and we have an alpha Spinda spawn. I don't really need to catch this, but it's never bad to have repetitive of like really good utility Pokemon, right? For example, I want to have multiple different catching Breloom, multiple different Parasects. I already have 2 different Parasects. I would love to get multiple different Smeargles down the road. They're not on my high priority list at the moment, but having multiples of good Pokemon like this is just really powerful. It allows you to do more things in one single trip without having to heal and figure out things. So I'm going to catch the baby Spindas and hope for some hidden ability ones, and then go for the alpha catch. And the very first Spinda we caught had hidden ability access. That's awesome. Okay, that is an extra contrary Spinda in the back. He's not going to have any relevant stats. We'll have to breed him up at some point if we want to use him, but at least we have one. That's awesome. I believe there's only about a 5 or 10% chance when checking these Pokemon for them to actually have hidden ability access. Also feels really good right now when going to catch any of these Pokemon and then seeing this fat stack of over 1,000 Pokeballs. It feels really satisfying. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into the alpha encounter, and I'll see you guys hopefully with the catch. All right, there is the Spinda catch. Some extra IVs would always be nice. It is male, so it could be used as a breeder worst case situation, and those stats are amazing. 31 in 2 different stats, one of them being speed, 25 plus in all physical stats. It is awkward. It's a modest natured Pokemon when it doesn't have the special attack, so it's possible it could be a special attacking breeder. This is a great Pokemon. I actually could use it. The beauty is I could use it either way. I could use it as a special attack breeding Pokemon if I brace the Spatak on the other Pokemon and then Everstone the nature on this guy, or I could use it as physical if I brace, one of the other stats and Everstone the nature on the other Pokemon, whatever the female of this breed would be. So really great catch. That's what you want to see in a Pokemon catch, a Pokemon that is useful for many different reasons. Alrighty, I could go back to hunting Arctic, you know, or I could procrastinate and still do some more breeds and work towards my 5x31 Charizard. We're going to do the second option for sure. Now, unfortunately, even though this Charmander is 4x31, I'm going to break the bad news. We're not actually that close to getting this thing completed. If anything, we might be less than 50% done our 5x31 Charizard. Let me explain why. The main reason why is the nature. You see, I have to get a modest breeder to actually pair up with this Charmander, and that breeder has to be 5x31. The nightmare situation is I just go ahead and get a 5x or 4x31 Pokemon to pair up with this, breed it up as a 5x31 Charizard, and then I don't get the nature roll. And then I'm left with a 5x31 Charizard that is unusable. It's useless. It does nothing. And that's a really weird problem that the Iron Man account can have, is that I can end up with 5x31 Pokemon. Actually, I probably will end up with quite a bit of them that do nothing. On a main account, you would almost never want to carry up the nature throughout a breed because it is way more expensive. You know, if you don't know, if you start a breed at 2x31 carrying up the nature, you now need to breed a Everstone onto that Pokemon at all times, and then breed this Pokemon with a 3x31. And then when it's a 3x31, you need to breed that Pokemon with a 4x31. You need to breed the Pokemon, the main source, with an upgraded source to get it up in IVs, if that makes sense. Whereas otherwise, if I just need to create a 3x31 with two 2x31s, that's cheaper than one 2x31 and a 3x31. I know it can be really hard to follow along breed examples without visual aids, so here we go. The first breed up top here is an example of a breed that would come out as a 3x31 Pokemon. We would go ahead and brace the speed on this Magikarp and brace the HP on this Magikarp, and it would come out 3x31 in HP, attack, and speed. And that only requires two different 2x31 Pokemon. Down here is what we would need to do if we want to carry over the nature. You need a 2x31 Pokemon and then a 3x31 Pokemon with all the matching stats and an extra stat. And you would go ahead and Everstone the Adamant Nature here. It is much more expensive to breed up the nature early on, especially if you do it from like how early on in the breed. If you start trying to breed up the correct nature on a 1x31, it's going to be ludicrously expensive in terms of braces, Pokemon, and Everstones. Keep in mind, every single Pokemon with different stats is equated to multiple different 1x31s. So for example, a 2x31 Pokemon is essentially two 1x31s of Pokemon value. You breed two 1x31s together, you create a 2x31. Pretty simple. But to create a 3x31, you need to breed two different 2x31s together. So that's two 1x31s per 2x31. Once again, this gets very convoluted. Breeding is actually pretty complicated in PokeMMO. So you end up with a 3x31 is equal to four 1x31 Pokemon. The difference between that top breed and that bottom breed, which we just displayed on screen, is actually a very large amount, like multiple different 1x31 Pokemon. On a main account, that would almost never be worth it, but on an Iron Man account, it is, because we aren't worried about profit, we just need good Pokemon. And after looking through my boxes for tons of different water bee, dragon, and even monster egg group Pokemon, all of these because they share egg groups with Magikarp, which I can breed over to Charmander, and then obviously Charmander's egg groups itself, I managed to find a single group of breeders that could put me in the really right direction that I need to go. It's just going to be the most expensive breed so far on the account, consuming both my Alpha Kindra catch and my one and only Alpha Ditto. Consuming my Alpha Ditto here is really, really scary. It is quite literally the most like relevant, important, juicy, lucrative, golden, liquid IV, amazing breeder on the account. A good IV Ditto is the best thing you can have on an Iron Man account. But if I go ahead and plop an Everstone on this Ditto to carry over the modest nature, and then use an HP brace on the Kingdra, I can go ahead and have this thing pop out as a 3x31 Dragon Egg Group breeder. 3x31 with the correct nature. And if I can get it up to a 5x31, well, then I can finish my Charmander. But that's a long way from where we're at. But I should be able to make it work, so let's go ahead and get started. I might even run out of Pokeyen before I can finish this breed, but we'll get very, very close to our end goal. And it's crazy how long this has actually taken. This has been multiple hours of breeding. I can't imagine how many hours of farming it actually took, which is another thing to factor in. And I don't actually want to carry through with this breed until I know what gender I need to make it. So excuse me while I go finish some other breeds first. Now, this Kingdra is going to end up being a 3x31 Pokemon with the correct nature in special defense, and HP. The problem here is that the main other Magikarp that I bred up so far for this has both of the stats that it does not need and can't really get onto it. So this Magikarp is kind of useless at the moment because it has two different stats that it needs to breed onto it. I need to get a Pokemon with HP, defense, special defense, and then either special attack or speed, not both of them. So it's back to our boxes for some basic Magikarp breeds to make some 2x31s. I'm going to go ahead and buy some more braces. We can still see my Pokéen stat getting absolutely depleted. I always hear the question echoing in my head, you know, what do you even use Pokéen for on an Iron Man account, Petrowski? This stuff, man, this stuff. And here is a 2x31. I don't think I need to worry about gender for this. We can always fix that later on with the next breeder as we make a next breeder to actually pair up with it. All right, so our main Magikarp that just hatched came out as 2x31 in HP and defense, and I do have this other breed that I can go ahead and carry through with to go ahead and make this a female. I'll have to pay the extra 5k to make sure that I have this come out female, and then if I do that, I'll have a 31 special defense, 31 defense breeder. I can pair up with this Magikarp to then make a 3x31 breeder, and that will put us that much closer to the 4x31 breeder we need for this Kingdra, but still a long way to go. It's crazy how much rummaging I have to do off camera just to try to find these breeding pairs. It's really easy to show you guys, you know, the finished product and, oh, here's the pairs I've matched up, but it takes a while rummaging through all the boxes, all the 1x31s, all the noted Pokemon. It also hurts seeing my Pokéen stack diminish so much, and I can feel my brain turning to mush. I might need to take an infamous breeder's break soon, because otherwise you'll start making mistakes. I always say that usually in around 45 to 50 minutes of breeding, I almost always make at least one mistake, because after breeding so much, so repetitively over and over and over again, there's a lot of, you know, problem solving going on. It's easy to eventually make a mistake. As you can see, I almost did. I put the brace on the wrong Magikarp, and if I went through with that breed, I would have wasted a lot of progress. Let's plop that on the right Magikarp, and then there we go. We'll have ourselves a 2x31 strategy. Need to double check. We do need to make sure this thing comes out as female. Once again, a lot of things to factor in when doing breeds like this, especially on an Iron Man where it's harder to solve those mistakes, whereas a main account could just buy the breeder they need. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and put this Kingdra and this Ditto breed over here in our boxes, kind of just waiting for the next time we come back to this, as I definitely need a break. I'm going to go ahead and start my stream here in a quick sec, do my daily gym rerun, and maybe do some Articuno hunting as well. I can't help but feel like we're so close to this, even though we are still so far away. And just keep in mind, like, having a proper 5x31 Charizard with the hidden ability access, this is an end game goal in itself. This is something that should take a very, very long time. It's taking so long and so much Pokéen, but it feels a lot faster, and that's only because we've spent so much time saving all of these Pokemon, right? Me saving all of these 1x31s, 2x31s, categorizing them, sorting them. This has made this process a lot easier, and it's still really hard. An Iron Man account is just so many constantly moving pieces, and eventually one is going to fall through the cracks, and I'm constantly afraid of that happening. But that fear also creates an incredible rush and an incredible sense of accomplishment when you finally achieve something like that 5x31 Zard. All right, there is one last breed I wanted to do before I start stream. So here is the 3x31 Carp and Scraggy. I don't think I need a gender for this. I think it can roll whatever. I'm a little scared because I think I still need a breeder for it. Do I not? I believe that's true. Yes, I believe that should be the case because I need a 3x31 breeder to then make a 4x31 breeder for the Kingdra, and I'll have to make that a specific gender. So I'm going to go ahead and carry through with this. That should be that breed done. I need one more 3x31 breeder to then make a 4x to then be able to properly breed up that Kingdra. And then once that Kingdra is a 4x31, we're going to have to do it all again to make the Kingdra a 5x31 with Modest Nature to breed the Charizard. So hilariously, I might have to eventually go back into the Kanto Safari Zone and farm more Magikarps. I don't know if I have enough of them. And the fucking Scraggy that I was breeding rolled Modest Nature. This changes everything. I don't have to consume the two other breeds now, the Kingdra and the Ditto. I need to restructure how I do this entire breed now. I don't want to worry about this right now. I'm going to plop it in my boxes and figure it out and finish it later, but that's insane. That totally changes how the entire breed plays out. Alrighty, fellas, it is finally time to start another beautiful day on the PokeMMO Iron Man account on the stream. Let's go ahead and pop our Amulet coin and just get into our gym run for today. We are very low on Pokéen and need to make up for it. So, Let's go ahead and get started. Get our typical grind going. I do have XP Reamplifier popped now for these Jimmy runs, which is not what I was doing before. And it's because the Torkoal and the Whimsicott should hopefully die at the start of the battle, and then I can XP train my Breloom in a decently efficient manner and get a ton of XP onto it. Getting 75% of the XP gained over onto the Breloom, which is really, really nice. And Breloom needs a ton of XP before it reaches level 100. And having a good catching Breloom is going to be game-changing for the account. So we're going to be training that today, slowly working towards that. And we're still waiting for our RP as well. We're waiting for our 250, I believe, RP from getting 4th place in that catch event. That can be anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks. So we'll see how long that takes. We got really lucky last time that Corsola got to us in like a day, you know, so this one might take a little bit longer, and that's okay. I've actually been having this problem pop up a lot recently, unfortunately, and I really didn't want to have to rebreed my Whimsicott so XP Reamplifier strat especially, I might need to rebreed this thing sooner rather than later. Now, it's not that big of a deal. I do just need to go ahead and make sure I get myself... I might lose this run because of it, though, which really sucks. Or this fight. I think I might have just lost this fight because of that one problem. Because my Whimsicott lived at low HP, which you don't want. You want this thing to die. Now, a thing you can do to actually make up for that problem is put Memento onto it, but it is an egg move. So I think after today's run, I'm going to take the time to go ahead and breed this down, put Memento onto it, and smooth up some future runs. Yeah, no, Rinky, you're not wrong. I'm having a lot of problems with today's Jimmy run, and I probably should be skipping more gyms maybe than I am doing. Like, even this gym has like a flash fire chance. I'm doing a lot of flash fire gyms, and maybe I should be skipping those more aggressively, because I think I have extra gyms that I can do that. So maybe I'm being a little too greedy, but I also might need to look into Water Spout Blastoise earlier than I expected or earlier than I planned, because I am having a lot of problems. And I'm being greedy and leveling them on while doing this. I could have like a Garchomp in the back, and that would solve a lot of problems. So maybe it's worth to prioritize the Pokeyen versus the XP. But it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I'm definitely having a really rough Jimmy run today. The problem is there is a lot of gyms that give me issues. If someone said just skip the 3 gyms of Flash Fire, it's more than that, though, is the problem. It would be the Fire Gym in Unova, the Dragon Gym in Unova, Pewter City in Kanto, Blaine in Kanto. That might be it. It's like 4 gyms. But I might be able to make up for it with Johto and stuff. I have to learn what Johto gyms I can do. I'm not super familiar with those strats. So there might be... Yes, I might be able to make... I might have to start skipping those 4 gyms. All right, that is the gym rerun done with. Still up to 384,000 Pokeyen. Very happy with that. A little over, I think it was like 220,000 or so Pokeyen gained from that run. Very happy with that, considering how bad it felt during a little bit. All right, the next thing I want to do before I forget is go ahead and breed down my Whimsicott and actually give it access to Memento. It's going to help it tremendously. Now, I am going to be rolling the ability on it, unfortunately. If I need to buy an ability pill to fix that, I can. I need to breed this thing. It is female, thankfully. I need to breed it with an egg group Pokemon in the plant or fairy egg group that learns the move Memento. And I think Hoppip is going to be one of our best options. I'm going to go check my boxes and see if I have access to a Hoppip, Skiploom, or Jumpluff. Let's go see. And then I will have to level that Pokemon up to get access to the move Memento. I might even be able to go catch a wild one with access to that move. Might be an interesting option. When does it learn that? It doesn't learn that move for a while. Level 38. That's very high. Yeah, so I think instead of leveling that one up, which will take a long time, right? I'm going to go grab my Soak Smeargle. My Breloom, sure, this. I'm gonna grab a few Pokemon. We are going to... Now, I actually have to lead with a Taunt Pokemon, or else things could get really bad in case if I accidentally get a shiny Hoppip while trying to catch a Memento one, that could be detrimental. So, I'm gonna grab my Taunt Persian to lead, because then it could actually ruin the whole... Ooh, a Relicanth Swarm. That's actually a fantastic swarm. We're gonna go to that really quickly. Relicanth is a pretty tough Pokemon to get for your Pokedex completion. It's a really cool Pokemon as well. I love Relicanth. Let's go catch one of those first for our Pokedex. All right, there is the Relicanth catch. Pretty easy. 1 times 31 speed. We'll take a breeder as we complete our Pokedex entry. Hell yeah. Only need 1. I could shiny check them because it is a... Relicanth is a beautiful, beautiful shiny, but it's so unlikely. I guess I could go ahead and shiny check them. But then we'll head over to Hoppip here in a quick sec. I'm glad someone asked. I am officially at 200 pot OT in the Pokedex. Very far from completion, but that's 33%ish. I'm very happy with that. I haven't even, that's like, I haven't gone for Pokedex completion yet. Like, I catch things here and there, but have not gone for it yet at all. So I'm very happy with 33% just passively. Or we got ourselves a male Hoppip caught with bad IVs. That's exactly what I want. Memento, beautiful. Took a little bit longer than I expected, but still wasn't too bad. Now we can head over to Island 4, breed down our Whimsicott down to level 1, and get Memento on it at the very same time. Now, I might need to ability pill it, which might cost like 35k. It'd be nice to not have to, but if I have to, it's not a big deal at the end of the day. All right, as you can see, this will come out as a cottony. I'm going to go ahead and pay it for it to be female, just so that in the future I can easily breed it down if I need to. This will come out as a cottony with Memento. It won't have Tailwind, though. Just kind of unfortunate. I don't know if there's a way I can fix that. I might have to just... Is Tailwind a TM? If I have to re-buy a Tailwind TM, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's not a big deal. That's okay. Well, that's fine. Might cost like an extra 20k. This is, once again, you just spend Poke-Yen on little things like this over and over and over again, dude. That's just how it goes in the Iron Mans. We'll get that done with. Yes! Oh, that's so... Dude, I might be done for PHENOS. Oh my god, that's so good. Okay, I did do this encounter with only a Slugma and a Wingdoll in my party, so hopefully the level 3 doesn't kill me. That might be the last Pheno I need for my decks. That's ridiculous. Dude, this is why I've been checking PHENOS pretty aggressively, to be fair, to be ahead of this, because I always say, like, oh my goodness. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. PHENOS are the biggest pain in the butt when it comes to completing your Pokedex because they're out of your control. And that is one of the... I don't care about the IVs. It's the Pokedex, man. I now have, over my Pokedex, Drillbur, or slash Excadrill, I need to breed down into Drillbur. Excadrill, which I can breed down. I have Ducklet, which I need to level up into a Swanna. I have Emoldra, which can be one. Audino, what else? I think I've gotten, like, all the Phenomons, which is so crazy. Because they are such a pain. I'm not sure if I'm missing one. Ducklet, Alola. I got Alola. Ducklet, Alola, Audino, Excadrill, and Emoldra. I think I got them all, dude. That's a big, like the most massive step towards Pokedex completion that we'll see until I complete my Pokedex. Like, getting PHENOS done is so important. Hell yes, dude. Alrighty, our Cottony hatched. I'm hoping for Prankster. That's okay. It costs us 35k plus, like... Okay, what sucks is that it costs us 35k, or like 35k to get an ability pill to fix it, and then I also have to go buy a Tailwind TM, so kind of more expensive than I would like, but at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? Let's just go get it fixed. This is gonna cost me 55,000 Poke-Yen to actually correct, which is, whew, unfortunately a lot, but it is what it is, man. What are you gonna do? Gotta have a good gym rerun Pokemon. So there is the Tailwind. Here is the ability pill. Turning Infiltrator into Prankster. I could like rebreed it and like play it a little bit slow, but it's just not worth my time. I'd rather just pay the Poke-Yen. So there we go. Prankster, Tailwind, Memento, level 1 Cottony. This is going to do wonders in our gym runs in the future. So our gym run team should be a lot more solidified with that fix. I need to go put this Audino in our box. I can actually just go ahead and release this Audino. Honestly, I don't need an Audino for anything else. I just got it for Pokedex. I can just go ahead and release this. I think it's totally fine. So we're going to release this Audino. And I need to either... Okay. I need to figure out how close I am to my 5x31 Charmander breed. And I need to figure out if I need to go to the Safari Zone right now and farm more Magikarps. That's the next step. Okay. Breeding is definitely starting to get very confusing. Okay? So, right now, I have this 3x31 Lillipup. And I need to breed this up into a 4x31. And the next stat that it gets has to be HP. But if I can breed this into a 4x31 with HP stat, then I could breed that with the Scraggy, create a 4x31 breeder, and almost be ready for the Charmander breed, but I still wouldn't quite be there yet. I need to make it a 5x31. So I need to take this Lillipup, and this is really tough, and get a bunch of Field Egg Group breeders with it, because Scraggy is also in the Field Egg Group. But I cannot breed this with Charmander, but I can breed this with Scraggy. I need to make sure it comes out the right gender. I need to do a lot of things. Let's get started on making a first step. Let's get a male 3x31 breeder for this Lillipup. Okay, I think with all of these different breeders in my hands, I have a chain of breeds that I can go for here. First things first, I need to breed this Ursaring and this Meowth. And that's going to give me a 2x31 Pokemon with HP and speed. And then I need to make sure I make that breeder a male and I believe breed it with this Meowth. And then I can brace the defense here, brace the speed on the other Pokemon, and make this 3x31 with HP, defense, and speed. And then we'll continue. We have to just see. After that, we need to see what happens. But that's our first step in the process, our first 2 steps. All right, our Teddiursa set did hatch. The nature should not matter. We're going to go ahead and put the proper braces. I believe, is it speed here and then defense here? Yep. And then I need this to come out. What gender again? Is it male? This should be 3x31. Can this pair up with my... Yes, this pairs up with my Lillipup. Okay. Everything is going correctly. So I'm so scared to make a mistake because it would be so brutal. I need to make this male. Yes. And then I'm breeding with the Scraggy, right? Make this male. 3x31. Breed, yes. I need to be careful because if I go too deep in the field egg group, I won't be able to transfer it. Where's my Scraggy at again? I'm breeding this to be able to make a 4x... Yes, okay. Let me go ahead and put an Everstone on this Scraggy so I don't forget that as well. The fucked up thing is, I'm going through all of this effort just to create a 4x31 modest breeder, which I'm then going to have to go through all of this effort again to make a 5x31 modest breeder to then finish the Charmander. All right, while we're just waiting for those breeds to finish up, I'm going to do some other breeds. You want to just constantly be doing breeds on the Ironman while you're waiting for eggs to hatch. The more eggs you're waiting to hatch at the same time is efficient because they still wait the same amount of time. Because of that, you know what? Let's go ahead. I actually have some Shidos and some Charmanders over sitting in my boxes somewhere. I think this is one of them. Let's just go ahead and do some of these rare breeds. These are just shots at a rare shiny on the Iron Man account. Let's go ahead and get some of these eggs made. This is an interesting question. Petrosky, would you ever consider spending 100 RP, on an Iron Man account, one from an event, on a shiny charm to do 1 hour of like Shuckle egg breeding at some point in the future? I really doubt it. I think that shiny charms and donator statuses are pretty much off the table when it comes to an Iron. If you want to, I respect it. It's so brave. I don't recommend it. They're pretty much off the table in my opinion when it comes to the Iron Man account. I'd rather save up for 500 RP for like a 7-day dono than five shiny charms or whatever, something like that, right? There's just so many things I'd rather spend RP on. Like even the PC expansion drives, like that would be like you will never have enough RP on an Iron Man account because firstly you need the Execute Amplifier, then you want some vanities. I want the ocarinas. The Execute Amplifier is really the only thing you need, or it's like the main gameplay based one, but everything else there's still some nice things like ocarinas, and the PC expansion drives would be super nice. These are 800 a piece. There's enough RP items to keep you busy as an Iron Man forever. You'll never earn enough RP as an Iron Man to ever buy everything you want to, which is a good thing in my opinion. All right, this should be our 4x31 breed, I believe. Yes, 4x31. What gender? I need this male. Male. Okay. I'm gonna make sure to go ahead and make this male. Else I'll be ruining everything. We're gonna pay for this to be male. It's gonna be 4x31. We're then going to breed this with my Scraggy and brace the speed while Everstoning the nature. And then we'll have a 4x31 Pokemon with the correct nature for the Charmander breed. We'll just need to do we just need to breed another 5x31. All right, while we're waiting for that egg to hatch, I actually can go ahead and do this next breed as well, which should give me a 2x31 Carp. I'm going to have to go farm Carps here. How did I fuck this up? I fucked this up. I'm going to have to go farm Carps here in a quick sec, though. I think this also has to come out the HP here. Let me check. Sorry, excuse me. So I'm bringing another 2x31. Yep. I'm bringing another 2x31 Carp to match with another 2x31 Carp I have in my boxes. And I believe that one is female. Let me go check, though. I do have a 2x31 Carp here. And this is female, 31 attack, 31 speed. I don't have enough Magikarps in my boxes to breed up a 5x31. So I have to go farm stuff. But let me show you what this looks like, for example. So this will be a 2x31 Carp I need to make male that I can then pair with this Carp to then brace it to make a 3x31. So we're at a 3x31. Then I need a lot more breeders to actually be able to go on from there. And let's go check my boxes to show you guys what we're working with. How many Magikarps I've consumed. So let's see. Carps with 1x31 in these stats. I've got 4. And for reference, you need about 32 on average to create a 5x31. There's some over here that are also, I just don't have nearly enough. And a lot of them don't have gender match as well. That's a problem is when you end up with breeders like this, where all of your carps are, we can move these over at least. It's kind of nice. When all of your carps end up, like most of my carps are male, it makes it difficult to breed properly. I wonder if I could get further than I expected, actually. I'm going to stick here and breed as many carps as I can, but I'm guessing I'm going to have to go farm some. I really doubt that I'll be able to finish this anytime soon here. All right, we're finally ready for our strategy Lillipup breed. This should be 4x31 with Modest. And I think I actually want to pay for this to be female, just so that I can guarantee it's going to be in the Dragon Egg group and share the egg group. Whereas if I make it like male and then I make a mistake and have like a field egg group that can with strategy, but it can't breed with Charmander, I'll make a big mistake. I don't want to open that chance up. So I think go, because I still need, I think this is female. Make this female, and I still need a 5x31 breeder to pair with this to then make that breeder male. Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of. Look at all the Pokemon we spent as well, man. It's impossible to keep the stat high on this account. Ugh, it's just tough, man. All right. That's awesome. Oh my god, I fucked up. No, chat, you're right. No! Oh my god, did I fuck up? Oh no, breeding is so hard. If I make a 5x31 breeder that also has the nature, I can't. How do I fix this? Oh no, I can't Everstone and Brace. It's okay, Pat. You wanted a 6x the whole time? Yeah, I can't Everstone and Brace the stat at the same time. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. I wonder how many people were watching me do this in video and were like screaming it. No, don't do that. Oh, okay. How do we fix this? Fuck this. I'm actually gonna go like farm Magikarps and go from there. That hurts, man. Oh. Let's just go through with this Magikarp breed and keep working up Pokemon. It just takes, it's so many breeds, man. Whew. Okay, the way I fix this is just by creating a 4x31 male Dragonade breeder and just breeding it with Charmander to make Charmander a 5x31, and that's the way I fix this. It's kind of, I was trying to skip a step, and by making this mistake, I essentially just don't skip a step. That's it. Yes, I think that's the way to solve it. So this is actually pretty easily solvable. Well, it's going to take a lot of time in Pokemon, but I'm going to have to do what I was worried about having to solve anyway, which is fine at the end of the day. But I could randomly roll nature on the last breed as well. So if that happens, we throw a parade, man. I don't know. The strategy just hatched, but then I just realized, but then the strategy is still female. So I need to fix the strategy. This sucks. I need to fix the strategy anyway. This sucks. It's my mistake. I messed up, and that's breeding is just complicated. I knew my brain would turn to mush. That's how it goes. Okay, I'm in problem solving mode, and I think I need to go ahead and breed these two different breeds and then combine them afterwards. And I can make two different 3x31s here, and then make a 4x31, and then make that male, brew with my Charmander. But then I have to fix this, or should I just fix the strategy, maybe, and make the strategy? This is tough. This is, I'm not gonna lie, this is a tough situation, but I did it to myself, and that's okay. We just gotta problem solve. Mistakes are gonna happen no matter how experienced you are, and I always try to tell people that and be honest about that. We're gonna make this arbitrarily male because we need to pay for the other one to just be the opposite, and I don't know if it matters. I don't think it matters. We're gonna do this one to be male. We're gonna make this breed female. Then when these eggs hatch, this will come out. We can breed those two together. Okay, beautiful. Then we'll have a 4x31 Dragon Egg Group Mon. We have to figure it out after. We'll figure that out the next step after this. We can't go too many steps ahead. Okay, so I'm actually pretty close to solving this, kind of. I could breed these two together. I'm at 130k. I'm running out of Pokemon before I solve this. These come out 4x31, and this I want to go ahead and breed male so I can breed it with my Charmander. Correct? Like my 4x31 good. Let me go double check. So I'm 1000% sure on this. But I think I want this to come out male so I can breed my Charmander and then have my Charmander come out 5x31, right? That's and then I can fix the strategy and hopefully fix it in that way. Now, the ultimate luck sack. If I am genuinely the luckiest gamer in the world, what I will simply do right now is I think if I roll... I can't roll Modest on this Magikarp. I have to roll... Well, that would help, actually. That might do it. Rolling Modest on this Magikarp or rolling Modest on the Charmander breed when I do that, if that makes sense, is how I solve this. So, let's go through with this. See what happens. Boom. We wait for the egg to hatch. Okay, this might be the last breed. Look at my Pokémon stack, dude. This might be the last breed I do for a little bit. I probably need to go payday pick up. I need to make sure this comes out female, because otherwise, if I made this male, that would truly ruin everything. I think this is what we do. 5x31 Charmander. I could put it in a... I'm gonna put in a Pokeball for now. I think this is good. Yeah, look at how broke I am, dude. Oh my goodness, dude. If it comes out mild or rash, arguably I could be okay with that. The problem is, you're not wrong. The problem is, I really want it to be Modest because this is a Pokemon that will be consuming one of my 5 very limited fire patches. I want it to be perfect. Even if it doesn't really need to be, I want it to be... Yeah, the luckiest thing, the most luck sack thing in the world would be randomly rolling Modest here. But if that happens, I'll, like, eat an olive on stream. At least one olive. I'll guarantee that. Maybe more. Like, that would be so ridiculous. That'd be so insanely... It's a 1 in 32, I think. How many natures are there in total? Oh my, we didn't luck sack, chat. Oh, we're so unlucky. No, I'm just kidding. That's gonna happen. That makes sense. It's totally okay. All right. The next thing we need to do, the way that we fix this from here on forward, is by breeding a 5x31 to then Everstone up the Scraggy nature, a 5x31 male to breed with the Scraggy, to then be able to breed over onto the Charmander. If I made this Scraggy... Oh, actually, no, I only need a... Do I need a 4x31? Yeah, you need a 4... Yeah, no, I think you're right, chat. I would Everstone... Wait, no, do I? Wait, I'm confusing myself. I think I can do a... Because I can let the Charmander carry over one of the stats, right? That's what I do? Yeah. So what I do is... Okay. I need to do this now before I forget. I need to put a special attack brace on this Charmander. I think is the strat. I'll have this Charmander with a attack brace. And then get a 4x31 male to breed with a Scraggy just to turn it into a male, which sucks that I'm essentially wasting a 4x31, which is the equivalent of 8. I'm basically wasting... This mistake is going to end up cost... There's so much stuff on screen right now. This mistake is going to cost me 8 1x31s, which is also the equivalent of 80,000 Pokeyen. 80,000 Pokeyen, 1 Everstone, and 8 1x31s. Which is about like an hour. This is probably costing me about 2 hours. It's not terrible, honestly. Costing me about 2 hours of time. Not one of the worst mistakes on the Iron Man, to be honest. But it costs, well, plus farming the previous catches. It costs a fair bit. Okay, from this position, I need to do 2 things. I need to make a ton more Pokeyen so I can actually finish this breed because, good Lord Arceus, I am incredibly broke. And then I also need to go ahead and go farm a bunch of Magic. I need to make Pokeyen so that I can finish the breed and farm Magikarps. So, to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just payday pick up for Articuno. And then maybe I get the Articuno, and that will be our desperately needed win for the day. So let's go do some single encounters and payday pick up for Articuno. All right, it is much later in that stream day, now around 10 p.m. ET, well after stream hours, and I have 2 big things. Firstly, you might be able to notice I have an Alpha Mightyena encounter, which now after that whole Charmander breeding debacle and having to consume that many good IV Pokemon, I realize how important it is to catch every Alpha, and I've been catching them all, but just even more affirmed, like, oh yeah, getting these like guaranteed 2x31s, even like screw the hidden ability access, you know, whatever, just getting the stats is so good, man. Alpha catches are just so good. But other than that, I have another big update. Since we got Audino earlier, I can actually go ahead and do this and uncheck every Pheno role in my Discord. If you don't know, in my Discord, you can go ahead and sign up for different roles and you'll get pinged for things like Phenos or Phenomena, for things like Alpha Swarms, for like Swarms, you know, lots of different things, right? And I had these on for the first time in a very long time to help me complete the Pokedex on this account, and now I'm done. I'm done with Phenos, which just feels so crazy. So I can do that, and think I do want to keep swarms on for the time being, just because there are some really good swarms that I could, like Porygon swarms, for example, I actually really need on this account. So I'm going to keep that turned on for the time being, but it feels really nice to check off a bunch of those and not have to wake up with 18 pings every single day, even though they were helpful to me at the time. I'm going to go ahead and do this Alpha Mightyena encounter, and I'll see you guys hopefully with a good catch. Okay, in typical Iron Man fashion, this is my very last chance. This encounter has been absolutely cooked. I'm at turn 28. I had this thing under control for so long. I think I threw like literally 12 different, or at least 10 different timer balls at this, at 1 HP and asleep. So its catch rate should be extremely high. Haven't been able to catch it. It's now gone indignant. So if it wakes up, it's going to be able to outspeed, most definitely one-shot me. Yeah, it's probably GG's, probably over from this point. At least it lowered its stats there by 1, but I don't see how this is going to be saved. It's definitely going to do enough damage to KO me. I usually would pop like revives and like respore this. The problem is that it's going to outspeed me when the Smeargle, even if I revive my Smeargle, it's going to outspeed and wake up. Or it's going to outspeed, sorry. It's going to outspeed before I can spore it and kill my Smeargle anyways. There's no point, so I might as well just keep trying to timer ball with it at, once again, 1% HP. This has been a really, really unlucky catch. Well, I always say, sometimes it's how alphas go. Sometimes certain alphas, certain Jimmy runs, I think it's a really good thing to encourage. Like, sometimes the run's just fucked. You know, whether it's a combination of bad RNG and misplays, or just straight up, like, this fight was just bad RNG, and it's not a big deal. It happens. When you catch so many alphas, it's gonna happen, and you gotta be okay with that. Please, are you serious? How does it happen every time? Like, that's actually... I don't know what to say anymore. I'm so glad I recorded that. Like, that's so funny. If it got one attack off, it would have one-shot my Persian. It was like +3 in every stat. That's so funny. Whatever. We caught it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Turn 30 fight. 3 times 31 male field egg group breeder as well. I don't think it helps my Charmander situation at all, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, ooh, that's actually really... That actually might help. Because I need to make a breeder for the Scraggy. And the Scraggy is field and dragon. That Mightyena catch might help solve my problem. Are you kidding me? That's so ridiculously lucky. I'm going to go check my PC if I can just solve it. I would need another 3 times 31. Let's go see what I have. Yeah, this Mightyena actually tremendously helps me. My Scraggy is in the field egg group, so I can actually breed this Mightyena with another 3 times 31 field egg group Pokemon, and it actually matches the stats even. Like, this is so lucky, dude. This is so crazy. This is perfection. It's a storybook, like, another breed on the account, man. I just need a 31. So I need a 31. I need a field egg group breeder that's 3 times 31 with 31 in HP and then some of the other stats. This is like exactly what I need. This is so crazy. I actually think that because of that Mightyena catch, I can now finish the breed, which is almost unbelievable. Let me go ahead and explain how. The first things first, I have my Scraggy and my Charmander over here. We understand those. We've talked about them a ton. Nothing to discuss there. I just need to find the breeder for the Scraggy. The way that I get the breeder for the Scraggy is by getting a breeder for the Mightyena. And the way that I get a breeder for the Mightyena is by finding a breeder for this 2 times 31 Lillipup that also has HP and speed IVs, so that then I can go ahead and match up with the other stats on the Mightyena, but I also need to find a breeder for the Lillipup that also matches some of the stats on the Mightyena for the future breed. And to find a breeder for the Lillipup, I have to breed some 1 times 31s together, which I do have a few of over in my boxes. If I sort for 1 times 31s in the field egg group, I do have a couple. The problem is, what couple do I actually use to properly find the right pairing to have the right stats for this Mightyena that's 3 times 31 but has one stat be different at the same time? It's a lot to consider. And the HP on this 2 times 31 Lillipup is already going to be the other stat. So to do this properly, I actually need defense and special defense stats on my field egg group Pokemon. So let's see how many of those we have and if we have a matching pair. I don't know if I'm quite... Oh, maybe I do have it over here, actually. 31 defense. This might be what I need. If I'd have like some 31 defense, this might be perfect. I'm going to grab this 31 defense Watchhog and this 31 Spadef Spinda. That will do just fine. This is going to cost me maybe the remaining bits of my Poke yet. I might need to go payday pickup to finish this chain of breeds, which would honestly be so funny that I'm so down for it. Let me go ahead and pick up the 2 braces that I need, get this breed going. Also, I don't normally mention my meme mods, so you might have noticed it stands out just a little bit in some of my videos. My Spinda is actually a minion shooting a big, like, little party streamer thing. I've never actually watched Despicable Me until right now. I'm about 15 minutes into Despicable Me 1 with my wife, watching it for the very first time. That was too funny / ironic during this breeding process that I couldn't not mention it, but I'm going to go ahead and create this breeder. I am going to have to go ahead and pay for this to be male. That is super important. So that I can go ahead. No, but then I can't pair it with this Lillipup. No, I messed up. I'm not done yet. I thought that was it. I don't know what I was thinking. This is just, once again, doing this much breeding is melting my brain. I'm glad I know, to be fair, I'd rather make the mistake now and not actually carry through with the breed than make it later on. So, and I think I can still fix this with the Pokemon in my boxes, but apologies for another mistake. It's really hard to carry the same chain of thought process so many breeds out in the future. The beauty of a main account is you can plan for a breed right then and there by just buying what you need off the GTL. But when you have, once again, a bunch of different puzzle pieces all jumbled up, it's hard to see how they fit together properly. Because I just don't know what the rest of the puzzle is going to look like quite yet. All right, instead of the previous setup, I believe this setup is correct. So I can go ahead and make this Spinda be a male. Then I can breed it with this Lillipup, let the HP pass over, brace the special defense, and brace the speed on this. And then go ahead and make this breed. Once I combine the Lillipup and this Spinda afterwards, I'll go ahead and make that breed a female. And then if I pair that up with this Mightyena with 31 in 3 stats, I should be able to, what's the play? Defense brace on the Mightyena. And then I would be HP bracing on the... Yes, that should work. Okay, I think I have it mapped out now. It's just a very, very confusing, convoluted, expensive puzzle. All right, I may be spending every little trickle of Pokeyen that I have, but it is working. Here's the 3x31 Lillipup that I'll have coming out. And it does have at least one stat mismatching from this Mightyena. Now, I do need to make really sure to make this Lillipup female so the Mightyena can breed with it. And then I need to make their offspring male so it can breed with the Scraggy. And then we might be back in this. We might be back in this, fellas. 3x31 coming up. Yes, please. I'm at 35k. I'm actually going to head over to a Pokemart really quick and sell. I have a bunch of nuggets and stuff in my inventory. I'm going to grab some, or maybe I just risk it because I want to see how low. I'm going to get really low. I think I need to sell some nuggets. I think I don't have enough actually to finish this breed because this next breed is going to cost, what is it? This next breed is going to cost 20k because it's 2 more braces. And then I need to do the Mightyena with the Scraggy, which will be 1 brace plus an Everstone, so 30k. And then Charmander with the Scraggy. So I think I need 40k for this breed. So I think I need about 5,000 more Pokeyen. And thankfully, once again, I do have some nuggets and things of value in my box, my bag. I was doing some payday into my mouth in the lead. I was doing a little bit of payday just to scrape together a few more Pokeyen. I might even try to do that. I'm going to sell only one of my nuggets. Keep the, having nuggets and pearls for extra Poke in reserve in times of emergencies. To be fair, this is kind of a time of emergency, but it's kind of nice. I'm going to go do like one more payday pickup and see if I can do this with as little Poke as possible, just for a fun little extra challenge. All right, and here it is. We are down to like the final 3 breeds. Here is the Lillipup, 4x31. We need to make sure that we make this male. Yup. Make sure that we make this male. Go ahead and get ourselves... We could, I mean, we have another chance for luck sack. There's always a few chances for being a luck sack when breeding. If I go ahead and randomly roll this Modest, then I can actually just save the Scraggy and we're chilling for now. I'll probably still have to fix it one day, but we don't have to worry about it for a very, very long time. 4x31 Lily. I'm just double checking everything. I think this should be good. We're going to breed this with the Scraggy. We won't actually need a brace for this when we breed it with the Scraggy, I don't believe. Yes. Which is making me wonder if... No, I think I still did need a 4x31 to breed with it. Yeah. Because I can't brace the Scraggy. Yeah, so no matter what, I do have to... Yeah. I think this is correct. Really hoping to not make too big of a mistake here. There's the Mightyena consumed. Okay. I'm like so scared to make a mistake now. I've just made so many bonehead mistakes during this that have cost me a ton, and it's going to happen. And those mistakes are going to hurt that much more on an Ironman account. And there's also open yourself up to more mistakes on an Ironman account. There's more decisions to be made, and that's okay. All you can do is make up for those mistakes. And I think we're going to finally make up for it. All right, here we go. We are down to the final 2 breeds for an end game goal on the Ironman account. This is a goal that cost me so much time, so much Pokeyen, weeks of catching Pokemon, and now consuming all of them just for this breed. I need to make sure I go ahead and pay for this to come out male, and after I do, I should be able to breed this. He's in the Dragon Egg group, of course. Breed it with this Charmander. I'll be able to Everstone the Scraggy with the Modest Nature, then use the Power Lens on the Charmander. I'm like so scared to make a mistake, but I think this is it. I think we finally did it, fellas. I think that this is right. We're gonna get this done with finally. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, people of royalty, the 5x31 Charizard with correct Modest Nature. This is going to be an absolute menace when it comes to raids and a key core fundamental on all of my fire type teams. I'm going to be putting this in the luxury ball that gender can randomly roll. That's totally okay. And I will be putting hidden ability access onto this as soon as I get my first fire hidden ability patch. This breed quite literally took me hundreds of hours, hundreds of Pokemon caught, hundreds of thousands of Pokeyen, if not like over 1 million. This probably cost me over 1 million in pure yen just for this breed, maybe around there. It's been pretty crazy. Leaving me down with a whittling 20k. Here it is. The final breed. The final egg to hatch. Now, the real meme would be if it came out shiny. That's when you know the Iron Man, the luck is hacking. That, you know what? I'll take the allegations then. Fair play. The real counterplay, though, would be if they entirely change raids in the upcoming Halloween event and this Charmander is actually useless. That would be quite a punch in the gut, which I almost made this an argument for not using my hidden ability patch until the raids come out because of that. So for now, I might just consider this a job done and one of the endgame goals done when this egg is nice and hatched. And there it is, the little Charmander just popped up on my screen. I haven't looked at it yet. I hatched it over in Pallet Town just as a nice little extra, Easter egg on it. Oh, the first 5x31 on the Iron Man, dude. This is the coolest achievement and has been the most difficult achievement on the entire account, except for the XP Reamplifier. Like, this is easily my second favorite achievement I've done on the account so far. Within the we're also at hatched at exactly 333 hours played. That's what a cherry on top, dude. Beautiful. And I couldn't think of a better way to sort of end off this little arc, this chapter, this segment in episode 7 of the Iron Man than doing a bit of EV training and going in EV training this Charmander and a bunch of other Pokemon in special attack and in speed. Alrighty, I picked out the Pokemon that I'm going to be EV training over in my UT box, but I also wanted to show you guys, I went ahead and just threw this Alpha Tentacruel over in this box. I don't remember when I caught this. I must have just caught it and it's like, oh, what a cool breeder. No, this is not a breeder. This is a sassy. It's plus defense minus speed, which is not amazing on a Tentacruel, but it's still really good. It pluses one of its biggest stats that it needs, which is special defense, making it a great tank Pokemon. And look at these stats: 20 plus HP, 31 defense, 31 speed, and then 20 plus in the other stats. This is a UT Tentacruel. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in my boxes and then later train it up. I thought about EV training this in special attack right now, but I don't know if that's where it'll get its best use. I think just going ultra tanky might be better, but maybe I'll come back to that and decide on that later on. But for now, I'm going to be EV training this Charmander, of course, this Pichu, which is going to end up being a very, very good utility Pikachu down the road, and then this Sheldon, another competitively ready alpha Pokemon that we caught, which is just, once again, insanity. It is mild nature, so it's not ideal. However, I do plan to ability pill this, turn this into an Intimidate Salamence, and essentially have access to a pretty decently special attacking Salamence in PvP. Building a PvP team is rising and rising on my priority list. Being able to play PvP, possibly win tournaments, winning some free Pokemon, it just sounds like a lot of fun. It's a really good goal, and it's actually good progress on the Iron Man account, which is awesome. Whereas playing PvP usually isn't a progress-based thing you do on a main account. It's something you just do as the endgame activity. So we have a lot of stuff there. I have my wide lens on my Moltres. I'll be using that to EV train today to hopefully give myself a very, very slight small chance on that elemental orb, as well as I actually have a very specific strategy that I want to try really quickly, and I'll show you why. Because I want to be able to use my XP Reamplifier during this hunt, and I might be able to actually using a very, very weird quirky trick. So back in the day in PokeMMO, you would do something called killing or sacrificing your synchronized Pokemon to be able to lead your party with it, but still get the synchronized effect. Now, that no longer works in PokeMMO. If your lead synchronized Pokemon is dead, you will not get the synchronized effect out of battle. However, if a Pokemon is dead, it won't gain XP. So I'm kind of using a weird old strategy where I would kill Pokemon, but still be able to use their benefits, if that makes sense. So I'm going to have my Abra and my Oddish purposefully KO'd here, but you can still use utility Pokemon while they're dead. They just won't gain XP. So now, with this all taken care of, I can go ahead and run away from this fight, put an XP share, or sorry, turn on my XP reamplifier. And I believe now if I put my Moltres in the lead, have these guys dead down here, I can still use my teleport even though my Abra is dead. The only thing I have to remember here is do not heal. I actually don't want to heal using the strategy. I want to head over here and plop. The problem is I'm just realizing, the problem is I have to plop my Oddish to heal its Sweet Scent every time into the PC. And then after I heal it, I have to kill it again. So not as cool as I thought. If I had a level 100, if my Smeargle... I've been thinking about that for a while. I might end up teaching my level 100 Smeargle as its final sketch move. That's something I've been considering, and that might end up being the best strat for something like this. So this level 100, it won't gain the, it won't suck the XP from the reamplifier like this one would. Let's just go try this while I can, and I'll show you guys. So I can go ahead. Actually, I want to go EV train over at special attack first. Excuse me. But while I have this on, I can go ahead and do these Gloom encounters over here. I'm going to be doing Gloom and Linoon, which are both close to PCs, both of these locations in Hoenn. I'm going to do a Sweet Scent. I can still use Sweet Scent even though this Pokemon is deceased, or at least fainted, rather. We're going to go ahead and do this. And when I do this, I should get special attack EVs on all living Pokemon. Let's see what this looks like. Let's go ahead and Heat Wave. Just like that. It might take a second here, but in time, we'll see plus 10 special attack on all these Pokemon, and we shouldn't see it on these Pokemon. That's what, yes, that's what's important. So this does work. The only problem is I'm going to have to re-kill this Oddish every single inventory, which is kind of a pain in the butt. And I don't know if it's super worth it, honestly, since the XP is not the main thing here. It's really just the EVs, but it's a cool idea, and I'm glad that it works in theory. If I needed to use this in the future, it's a good strategy to have in the back pocket. This is what the Iron Man is all about. Testing weird stuff like this that you would never have to worry about on a main account, and seeing what works and what doesn't, and what fits your very specific needs, and learning and remembering new strategies. All right, here's the final horde for special attack. This will give us 252. I'm going to move over to Linoon. This on all three of the Pokemon, of course. And then after Linoon, we're done EV training these guys, and we just have some XP training to do. Do we even have that much XP training, to be fair? Like, once this Sheldon levels up once, it will become a Salamence, and then boom, it's done. It needs to be, like, moveset and stuff, but then, you know, no XP training needed for level 68 Pokemon, essentially. The Pichu will need to be XP trained a fair bit, and the Charizard will eventually need to be XP trained. That is actually important as well. Getting that guy up to, like, level 80 or so for all the raids is definitely going to be relevant. But for now, we're chilling. Won't have to XP train either the Pichu or the Charizard for quite a while. Maybe the Pikachu we level up earlier rather than later, but we'll see. It is funny. I'm not going to be able to use this Charizard. I have no reason to use this until like way later down the road. Like I'm not using this until like October, so like 3 or 4 months, but it's still just such an amazing achievement. It's just such a fun goal to go for this episode, and it's a very useful one as well. But anyways, I'm at Linoon. I will see you guys after speed EV training. All right, and here we are, done with our EV training. Everything is now 252 Spatak and 252 speed. Our Pichu evolved into a Pikachu, our Charmander into a Charmeleon, and our Sheldon into a Salamence. I'm going to go plop all these bad boys over in their boxes and get over to some very casual Articuno slash maybe even Raikou hunting if we can get over, if we can, you know, get to that and actually finish up Articuno first. But for now, I'm going to head over to Kanto, throw these in my boxes, and just head over to the Articuno hunt. And of course, no elemental orbs have been gained yet, even though I'm using the Moltres for that very slim chance. They're just extremely rare. But one of these days, I'm hoping to end an EV training session and see one extra, 21 elemental orbs, and then it will all be worth it. Now, it is currently late Monday night, around midnight as I'm recording, and I did actually go ahead and call off Tuesday, just sort of take a day to myself. I've been streaming a lot on the weekend, so it'll be a nice day to have an actual, day off, and allow me to just do a lot of casual Articuno hunting, payday pickuping. I'm not sure how much I'll be playing PokeMMO tomorrow, but any play that I will do will just be passively farming for those legendaries, and I'll see you guys with any interesting encounters, good catches, or any amounts of little Pokemon updates as I'm starting at 20k going to bed tonight. Hopefully I'm not lazy and at least do a gym rerun tomorrow. All right, here we are towards the end of the day on my day off around 10:40 p.m. on what is it, Tuesday? Yep, Tuesday, skipped tilted Tuesday. So I did get a fair bit of progress done today. I'm up to over 13,000 encounters, as you can see, even on my day off. I still did my Jimmy run, which I'm really happy about. So did do my Jimmy run. Honestly, that's one of the biggest things you can do if you're taking a break day. If you can still weave in your Jimmy run, it's nice, but also, man, take your break days. If you need to skip a Jimmy run, it's okay. It'll be there for you tomorrow. There's plenty of time to do that stuff, but I felt up to it, so I went ahead and did that, and I did a bunch of encounters for Articunos. You can see about 300 or so today. I probably picked up for about 4 hours, but it's pretty inefficient. If probably around 3 hours, honestly, and that was still pretty inefficiently. Obviously, watching movies, hanging out, relaxing, just worked out. But I'm gonna head back up to Pattern Bush, do a little bit more pay to picking after Articuno. It's been really nice to decompress after the whole Charizard, using my brain over and over again. Felt like that was just so much puzzle solving, and it's really nice to kind of just turn the brain off. It's funny, I was dreading the Articuno hunt, dreading the monotony of the legendary hunts, and now that I took a break from it, did a totally different grind, I'm excited to go back to it. So just a good reminder to always switch things up, change your grinds, and when you go back to things with a stronger, you're excited to go back, you're going to do better, you're going to be more efficient, you're going to play better, you're going to be happy to be there, and it's a good little reminder. All right, we got ourselves an alpha Arbok spawn. This is actually a very important one. First thing in the morning. Good morning to you guys. Arbok is in the Dragon Age group, so it's probably one of the most important alphas in terms of breeders you could possibly get. And getting extra IVs, extra stats to breed onto Dragon Pokemon is super powerful, super good. So you want it to be male. It's unfortunate that it's female, but we can always breed it one more time, breed up the stats, make it a male breeder, and then put it onto our other Dragon Pokemon. I'll see you guys with a catch. All right, here's the catch. The more IVs, the better. I'll take it. 2 times 31, 25 plus-ish in 2 other stats. Very happy with that. Now, I'm on the typical plan today of Jimmy Run plus Articuno hunting. However, I am down to my very last Amulet coin, so I will need to be farming them at some point today. Otherwise, I could end up tomorrow needing to do my Jimmy Run with no Amulet coin, and that costs you a lot of Pokemon. So I have to go farm. So I want to make sure I plan ahead of time appropriately on the Iron Man, or else you will be punished. There is also a Mudkip catch event today coming up in about 2 hours that I will be preparing for. Here are some of the details for the upcoming Mudkip catch event. It's over at Route 104 in Hoenn, so I probably will have to be popping lures. I'll have to make sure I buy enough expert lures ahead of time from this event. There is a synchronized bonus of +10 for Adamant, which is probably worth it if I'm using quick balls and nest balls, and since the Mudkip is a rare spawn. So actually, yeah, it probably definitely is worth using an Adamant synchronized Pokemon. I'll have to make sure my Adamant synchronized Pokemon is leveled up enough before this event, so that'll be the next thing I go check. And the prize will be a gift Mudkip, 6 times 31s, 1,000 RP. Honestly, a Swampert would be amazing for PvP. I'll take it. It's like a pretty decent PvP mon. Nothing amazing. I think it's mostly in the UU tier, if I'm not mistaken. Just kidding. Swampert's moved down to NU. Dude, how things have changed. For those who don't know, I used to play a lot of NU PvP back in like 2013, and I'm used to using things like Abras. Things like Machoke was like meta, in NU. So things have changed a lot, where we're seeing things like Swampert in the NU tier. And it's not for the bad, it's just different. I always try to say, I'm not trying to say the NU tier is worse. I definitely just have nostalgia for the old NU Pokemon, and I would love to see things like RU and PU added to Pokemon. I've talked about that ad nauseum on my channel in the past. I think adding RU and PU would make the game a lot more balanced. That's always been my personal argument. The downside is that it makes queue times longer. It makes the PvP community even more spread across more tiers. So it's not just a positive. Even though I would love to see it, I would argue be way more positive for the game overall to go ahead and have more tiers, because the more tiers you have in Pokemon, the more Pokemon are viable, the more balanced those tiers are. When you have something like NU, what happens is in OU you have 50 or so Pokemon. In UU, you have 50 or so Pokemon. And then in NU, you end up with like 400 Pokemon shoved into one tier. The reason being is because everything that is in untiered is also technically in NU. So you end up with all of these Pokemon that are considered NU or lower tiers, and they just can't get used. There's a lot of Pokemon where, like, as long as something like a Blastoise is in NU, a good example is Wartortle, hilariously. Eviolite Wartortle used to be a really good rapid spin option back in the day in NU. Not even that long ago, like 2018, 2019, or 2020s even. There are certain Pokemon that were really solid. Balti Waters, like, Milotic's in NU nowadays. Like, a lot of Pokemon are just worse than other Pokemon in this list, so why would you ever play them, right? Like, Kadabra versus Alakazam is one. Kadabra used to be a meta Pokemon. There's no reason to play a lot of Pokemon because there's just better Pokemon on this list. But anyways, we're not here to fix PvP. We're here to play our Iron Man and make some progress. I'm going to go heal up. I'm going to go check our boxes and see what our Adamant Synchronized Pokemon is looking like. It shouldn't have to be too high level with a catch event like this over at a low level route. Level 46. Okay, so our Synchronized Pokemon should be totally good. That should be plenty for the event. Double check to make sure we have Quick Balls and Nest Balls. I'm assuming we do. Yup. Plenty of them because we stocked up recently. It felt really good to stock up on Pokeballs recently. I'm not going to lie. Probably still need more Timer Balls for the future, but for now, we are chilling. Definitely trying to just let my Pokeyen stack grow a little bit. As you can see, it's at 434k, which is nice, but I want to have a couple mil, I think, stocked up at some point. So I'm going to try to spend less Pokeyen and just stack more. Look at this beautiful, I did just realize how many alpha Pokemon are now in my boxes. It's so crazy. You catch them whenever you have a chance, whenever they pop up, and just slowly over time, we start to acquire a nice little collection. Another quick note, PvP rewards did actually change over, so there's a new randoms PvP reward, and it is Cinccino. And this is a weird one. Cinccino is actually a pretty relevant NU Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken, but even then, it falls off every now and again. It's a very weird, like, sometimes it's in the meta sort of pick. It really started picking up popularity. You can see when loaded dice was added is the largely most used thing on this by far. It allows it to use a lot of things like bullet seed and like not double slap, but there's a similar like tail slap. Like there's a lot of multi-hit moves this Pokemon likes to use with technician and loaded dice in combination, so it doesn't have to use the ability skills. Just with skill link, it's not enough. So you get to go technician and loaded dice, have high damage, decently high speed, and do a lot of funny things. Really weird Pokemon. I've never piloted it I don't have much practice piloting this Pokemon, so I don't see myself super gunning for that randoms reward, but I thought it was an interesting one to show off. I'm honestly at the point where I would love to just look to build a proper PvP team. Like I think playing OU is probably one of the big next goals on the account. I've mentioned it a few times. You know what? Let's just go see really quick. If I were to play, do I have 6 Pokemon that I could queue up in OU? Even if it's not a good team, could I possibly do it, you know? And I'm not saying just, 6 level 50 plus Pokemon that are in the tier. I'm saying like decently EV, like this Garchomp, right? Like that one Garchomp that I have that is 2 times 31. This is a PvPable Pokemon. It's Jolly Nature. It's 2 times 31. It's obviously missing all the bulk and a bunch of other stats, but this is usable in PvP. I honestly think I could throw together a ragtag group of Pokemon to play OU with. The problem is like this Typhlosion is cool and all, but in OU without Sun setup, okay, that's where things get a little bit funky wonky, you know? I could use like this Cloyster, like this would be fine-ish. I have to fix a lot of things. So I have like this Tentacruel, which needs to be EV trained. I have this Salamence, which would need to switch abilities, and then moveset. I would need to moveset a lot of these Pokemon, to be fair. Even my good Hitmontop that I got as a PvP reward is missing a move. Like Endeavor is not the move I want here. I want to replace this with Fake Out or something. The Earthquake. Fake Out's maybe more relevant in doubles. It would want something else here aside from this. Maybe Rapid Spin just to clear rocks and clear hazards where possible. But with this sort of team, like this is queuable. Like I could play OU and it wouldn't be an embarrassment. It's not a well-rounded team. It's not like the best team in the world. Don't get me wrong. But it could be a lot worse, to be honest. I have Gyarados and Garchomp is an inherently like decent combo because things that hit Garchomp for 4 times effectiveness, aka ice moves, you can switch over to Gyarados on and tank pretty well. And the same is true for Gyarados is 4 times weak to lightning, electric attacks. You can switch over to the ground type Garchomp there. So you have a bit of combo-ness there in terms of the typings. You have Hitmontop with, you have the ability to pill this. Like, this is, like, not the worst team in the world. The problem is the speed tiers is the main thing that I noticed, where, like, nothing is really quite that fast, and nothing is quite that slow. Everything's, like, kind of in the middle. The speed tiers are clearly the most awkward part of this team, by far, in my opinion, and I don't have access to a Choice Scarf, so I couldn't even give my Garchomp or my Typhlosion Choice Scarf to make it fast enough to really be a massive threat, which is really scary. Yeah, that's the awkwardness. It'd be an awkward team for sure, but I would love to queue up some OU and just see what happens, but not quite yet. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed here, so we're going to leave that for another day. But who's to say I won't slowly chip away at this and make something here a usable team? All right, after an insanely long intro to the stream, we had a lot of serious stuff to cover today regarding certain bot dramas and RNG stuff and yada, yada, yada. I don't have time for my gym run, hilariously. I only have 28 minutes until the catch event. So instead of I'll do my gym run after the catch event's over. I'm just going to go do some payday pickup I think in Kanto, maybe even head over to Hoenn early and get myself a Mudkip encounter. So for now, no Jimmy run yet, unfortunately. Just typical Articuno hunting. Maybe I could get it before the event starts, and that would be super lucky. Yeah, this is really strange. Someone pointed this out to me. There is no species bonus for Mudkip. So what that actually means is there is no reason to use expert lures to hunt for Mudkip if you're trying to win the event. You'd rather just run back and forth and nest ball, most likely, Poochyena and Wurmples in the grass over at this location at Route 104 in Hoenn. But yeah, there's no reason. It's very interesting. Because there is no species bonus for Mudkip, there's no reason to go for this very rare, difficult catch. Why would you put in the extra effort if you're trying to win, win the event? If you want to just catch Mudkip, I'll probably catch one just to get it in my Pokedex, honestly. Yeah, I'll still lure for the first one. But other than that, there's not really a reason, which is honestly really interesting. I almost wonder if it was a mistake and they meant to have Mudkip have a species bonus. Yeah, I almost wonder if it's a mistype. Which dude, the staff have hosted so many events recently. I'm surprised more mistakes don't happen. They do a great job and very few mistakes happen. Grass, Hoenn. I'm gonna go ahead. We still have 20 minutes. That's kind of early, actually. I'm starting 20 minutes early, which is kind of crazy, but let's see if we can find ourselves a Mudkip. All right, shout out to Tom Hosnier. Can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Shout out to our British boy Tom, and then shout out to Special for actually like responding to this and communicating. Very nice of them. This is in regards to the Mudkip thing. It's not a typo. We don't give bonuses for lured exclusive species, and it could be seen as pay to win. I never knew this. I never realized. Like, to me, lures are so cheap, about 15,000 Pokeyen per hour. I've never. Is this a new thing? Because I feel like they used to, right? Maybe I just didn't think about it. That's crazy to me. They don't give bonuses for lore. I kind of respect it. Anything to help the new player, I respect. Don't get me wrong. I kind of respect this change. I just didn't know it was in place. So now we have in writing, we don't give bonuses, species bonuses to lore exclusive species, at least from this point onward. That's good to know for future catch events. All right, here is our first catch of the event. The event has officially just started. Good luck to everybody participating. Here is our very first catch. I will not be repopping lures to catch Mudkips after this, since it's not worth it. I just wanted to go ahead and catch one for the Pokedex. We need a little Pokedex entry as well. And honestly, this is what you want to see in a new catch, dude. 20 plus in HP, defense, special defense. Every Pokemon pretty much need those stats. You love to see it. That is honestly a really decent / easy great way to start a Mudkip breed. And I think we could actually, now that I've bred that 5x31 Charizard, which was hard as hell, I really am so much more confident in my ability to just breed 20 to 25 plus in three stats, 2 times the correct nature. Like, breeding good comp mons will be so much easier than breeding a 5x31 with correct nature. This is a nice breeder catch. I love stuff like this, man. I always say every Pokemon needs the defenses and the speed. This is like, it's crazy like how perfect of a breeder this is. Beautiful catch there. It is the end of an era, fellas. You know, it was an honor to have Mike Tyson create an Iron Man account for our PokeMMO team, but he's got to get back to boxing, I assume. GG's team was good running with you. I like to send the Discord. I'm going to leave teams not enough time with the new job, dude. So he is prioritizing more important things, new job, and playing his main account, I believe. I'd rather use what little time I can play on my main account, but it was fun. Dude, salutes and shout outs to Michael Tyson, man. Sir Mike Tyson, it was an honor fighting with you, King. I hope you enjoy the new job. I hope the new job treats you well, and I hope the main account's fun. You know, I respect a ton Iron Men who realize they don't have time for it or want to move on. You know, can't do everything in life. It makes sense, and free up space for other members. So we now have 2 open spaces in the Iron Man team. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, beautiful. I was catching 1 Talo for the Pokedex. Adamant Nature. This thing is 1 breed away. It needs to be bred with a Ditto is the only unfortunate thing. This is 1 breed away from being a comp Swellow, which is a very relevant competitive Pokemon. Is it NU? I can't see. It's between NU, I believe, a lot of the times. Staraptor's a great, or Swellow, sorry, Swellow's a great Pokemon. I'll take you, man. Hell yeah. Now this is not catch event winning. This is a very good statted Pokemon. 151. Is it? If it was Adamant, it would be like, it's still not really worth 3rd place, but very, very above average catch. 31 Spatak, 25 plus, and so many stats. Just missing Spidef. Great catch. Very happy with that. Another great breeder. We're only 18 minutes into the event. Another 20 plus in HP, defense, special defense, and speed breeder. Hell yeah, man. This is my best catch for the event so far, towards 4th place for the lowest thing. It's 33. Definitely would not take 4th place. I don't think it's quite low enough. But it's a cool catch to talk about. a pretty, I got an above average catch and a below average, like above average low catch. So lucky catch event for me so far. Even though I'm probably not going to win anything, gotten good breeders, gotten, you know, above average and lower catches. That's what you want to see. Like that's, I see a lot of over complaining when it comes to catch events. This is a good, you know, it's good to appreciate. This is a great event. This is a positive event in my opinion for me. Dude, I've gotten a lot of good catches this event. This is a very lucky event for me, even though I'm not going to win anything in the event itself. A lot of amazing breeders. This is so good. 150, even bold, like this could be used. This is an amazing bold Volcarona breeder if I want to go defensive Volcarona. That's actually so sick. Yet another amazing breeder. That is the end of the catch event. This is my final catch, I believe. Did I actually catch it in time? I caught it 13 seconds after, so it doesn't even count. But, dude, 20 plus in all the physical attack stats. The nature is irrelevant, but like I caught a lot of good breeders this event. Let's head back to our PC, sort things out. I don't think I caught anything worth submitting, but we'll double check. A lot of great breeders to add to our boxes. Very happy with this event. All right, we've got our box sorting music loud and clear blasting. That means you know what time it is. It is time for some box sorting over on the Iron Man account. We have once again filled up our 1x31, our noted box, and now we're bleeding over into our UT box with good Pokemon, with good stats, things like this Talo, which could be bred up, Adamant. I want to go ahead and start actually finishing some of these breeds and putting some of the work into that, but I want to stack my Pokeyen before I really start doing a lot of those breeds. So we'll see how that goes. I cleared a lot of space over here. I now need to go through. We did our initial moving good IV Pokemon over stage. Now we need to go through the double check stage, where we essentially just go through and double check, you know, what Pokemons can we get rid of still here, what do we want to keep. I'm gonna go ahead and go through mostly the boxes where we caught a lot of stuff, but the catch events like this Spinda can get released, and a lot of this stuff will get moved over to this box titled release. We can go ahead and release it all in unison over there, and hopefully release at least 60 Pokemon. One full box Pokemon would be ideal. Dude, nice. I'm really proud of myself for staying on top of my boxes the way that I have. I'm not gonna lie. I've only had, look at this, 2.5 boxes of Pokemon now in my first few boxes. The dream would be to only have like 1 or 2, but when you're still completing your Pokedex, it's a bit tougher to know what exactly needs to be kept. So I give myself a little leeway there. But box 4 and 5 are now totally empty, and I can just go ahead and release a full batch of 60 Pokemon. See you later, soldiers. I appreciate for what you did, but you know what? It's time to go. Release all. Boom. Hurts a little bit, but it's important to have box space for all the future catch events and everything you do on the accounts. Really important to clean up and stay on top of your box sorting on an Iron Man account, especially with no PC expansion drives. All right, it is officially time for our 10th ever gym run on the account, which feels really cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is number 10, but also with it being number 10, it's our last Amulet coin. So I will have to farm Amulet coins after this run, or I'll be out of luck. So we're going to farm some Amulet coins after this, as well as farm for hopefully Articuno or the legendaries. Let's go ahead and get our Jimmy run started though, and I'll see you guys hopefully with some good Amulet coin farming afterwards. Yeah, yesterday I had the best Jimmy run on the account by far. It was actually the first day I've made over 250k from one Jimmy run. So I'm going to try to do that today. What I did was, I did it off stream, I just skipped every single problematic gym. That's really was the whole strategy. So we're going to hope that works today. There's plenty of gyms to do. I'm just going to try to skip as much as possible and skip around and not take those risks, you know? We don't really need to on this run. So we're going to see how that plays out today. Oh my God, did the believers actually win? Dude, this is the first time that I make over 250k, and I think I did. Believers caught the rarest W, 688. I think it was minus 434. I'll have to double check the VOD. That is over 250k within one Jimmy run, dude. I'm gonna fact check it. I think the believers won. That is so hype. That's the first time it took me 10 Jimmy runs to realize I should just skip the riskier gyms to finally let the believers win. But that's so hype, dude. After fact checking, yes, 434k was the starting amount. The believers finally got it, dude. Even though the doubters, so if you don't know, when I do my Jimmy run on stream, we do a gamba on Twitch chat, and people can vote whether or not I will make over 250k or not. and I've not been able to do it yet. And the doubters, who are people who didn't think I would do it, they strategically rage baited me during the run to rant about a PokeMMO topic, and then later admitted they rage baited me just to distract me from the run, to give them a higher chance of winning, and they still lost. This is a proud day for the believers, boys. I appreciate people who actually think that I could lock in enough to make a humble 250k in a gym rerun, but I'm happy to get it, man. You know what? That's progress. We're getting a little, it's cool to see like the average of our gym run Poke and Moneymaker method like go up and up as we practice the run more. Even with my hours, you know, we still gotta hone in the new run. So that is gym run number 10 completed. Let's head over to Island 1 and do a little bit of amulet coin farm before we do anything else, because otherwise I'll forget that I won't have amulet coins for future runs. All right, as with a lot of things in PokeMMO, I did get interrupted before actually going to do my amulet coin farming. There's an alpha Crawdaunt spawn over in Hoenn, so I'm going to catch this alpha really quick. Crawdaunt is in a weird egg group, is he not? Isn't he like Water C or something? He actually is a pretty relevant, his hit ability is actually very relevant. Adaptability is what makes Crawdaunt strong. So getting him as like a breeder for a Crawdaunt for OU is like actually very relevant. Really good OU, probably a really good Trick Room Pokemon in OU as well with 55 base speed. He is in the he's in Water A. Water C is not a very good A group. Water A is very good. It has like Dragonite and stuff like that. So Water A is a very, very good A group. I think Kindra's there as well. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this catch though. Okay, I Giga Omega fucked up this fight by accidentally lava pluming the Crawdaunt to do like a little bit of damage, but not do too much with Eruption. And it's a 30% chance to burn, which is my fault. I burned it, and now I can't put it to sleep. So now I'm in this super weird situation where I'm just gonna throw a few timer balls. If I get lucky, sure. I'm probably gonna have to redo this fight. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, that makes sense. I don't deserve this catch. I fucked up. Okay, but never mind. Because I'm consistently the luckiest Iron Man dude, he crab hammered my dry skin Parasect, which allowed me to dodge an extra one more turn, which allowed me to timer ball it and catch it. So dude, that's crazy. Anyways, Docile, 2 times 31, 25 plus some other stats, only missing 1 stat, 20 plus. Great breeder. Will very much use this Crawdaunt in the future. I'm really valuing alphas more. That whole Charizard bonanza just really made me value alphas more and more and more. Those guaranteed 2 times 31s, so relevant, man. I am officially pretty deep into my legendary hunt for the month of June. I do want to knock off about 1,000 to 1,200 encounters that I've done via catch events and like it's a little bit of XP training and other things. So it's not, you know, fully, but I started at 5,000 encounters. So if we do like, let's just do 12,000. I think I'm probably about 7,000 encounters deep into the legendary hunt, which is a little overrate, but not that bad. I think and it's a good thing to push, like let you guys know, like you're gonna go dry sometimes. The last Moltres, I went like 2,500 to 3,000 encounters for. You can't expect to go. I see a lot of people go wet on a hunt and then go dry on the next hunt and still be mad. That's crazy to me. You can't. It's RNG's gonna even out, man. Like you can't be mad if you're wet on a hunt and dry, or dry and then wet. You gotta just give it time. Let RNG. It's a big thing I try to encourage. The more time you put in, the more RNG will even out, and you gotta just hope it does. A lot of people get really unlucky legitimately. I see a lot of people complaining about being like, you know, 5k drawn, and it's okay to like be a little frustrated, but just be careful with the level of complaining, I guess you do, is what I would encourage. It's gonna hurt yourself more than anything, not, you know, those that you're complaining to. So a little positive reminder, just keep going. Good luck to you. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we see something soon on this account. But if I go 10k dry or I miss out the whole month, it sucks. It really sucks. It could really impact my ability to do raids in the coming fall, right? But it is what it is. All you can do is do the encounters, do what you can control. Alrighty, in typical Petrowski fashion, during the stream, I totally forgot what I was doing, and I forgot to go amulet coin farm. It just slipped my mind. There was a lot of other discussion going on, usually about movies and food and yada yada. If you want to see me rant and ramble about random topics while I grind on the Ironman account, check out the streams, usually Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. But for now, I am going to finally head over to amulet coin farming. I desperately need to do this. I'm literally fully out of amulet coins. So we have our first king over here. If you don't know, I go ahead and do this really cool strategy where I use Imprison with Nasty Plot and Screech in my my move slots, and that makes it so that the Meowths here will always go ahead and attack, and then I switch over to my Pickpocket Weavile in response to that. So if I find a horde of Meowths and I frisk and I do see an amulet coin, I will always get it guaranteed, and this just makes it so comfy. Sometimes I'll end up with a Quick Claw, and if that happens, you know, it happens. What are you gonna do? And then if I get a Ponyta horde with an item, I also just run from that, because it's usually just like a Rost berry or certain berries, and those aren't worth it. So I'll see you guys when I have hopefully at least 10 amulet coins or so, but even less than that would be fine. we'll just go ahead and get a nice stack started. Yeah, I don't know if that's... Oh my god, I got a shiny! What? A shiny Ponyta! What? What? 13,005? Dude, I just started amulet coin farming. I've been recording for 1 minute on this whole recording. I usually record for like hours and hours and hours. What the... Okay, normally, oh my goodness. This is gonna be a whole ass meme. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm gonna keep this a secret. Well, no, I can't. Oh, can I? I have to stream tomorrow. I can't get back to 13,000 something encounters. That would be so funny if I could keep it secret. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I'm gonna screenshot this. Dude, that's so funny. What? There should be no way this thing can kill itself. I think I just go ahead and sit here and like thief the non-shiny ones. I think that's all I do here. It could have takedown. There's no rage powder stuff. Oh, that's so funny, dude. What? The Iron Man luck continues. It's just so crazy, man. 13,590 encounters. I swear I did like so few. That's so wild. I've done 3 sweet scent here's. What the fuck? 3 sweet scents here. That's crazy. That's like almost so wild. I'm gonna go to my Weavile, I guess. What the fuck? I've done 3 sweet scents here. I'm here for less than 1 inventory. I was just single encountering for Articuno. That's so crazy. That's so wild. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm like so I'm just amazed. I have a big plate of fish sticks I was about to eat. I haven't. I'm just stunned. I was about to eat my dinner, but instead I just get a shiny Ponyta. What the fuck? I don't even know if I'll have to. I was like calling to my wife, but I don't know if I'll even have to cut this clip. It's so weird. It's so weird. I'm gonna Night Slash. My Weavile took so much damage, I will say, from the fire type attacks. That's okay. I'll probably have to just Awakening or Wake Up my Bayonets. Not a big deal. My Smeargle doesn't have a KO move, so I do, need to be careful there. There's no concern of the shiny running out of PP. So crazy. That's just so crazy. Am I gonna die to Fire Spin? Okay, I got 1 more attack off. That's fine. I'll take that. 1 more attack off. Kill. Dude, that's so funny. Okay. Trying to think. The weird thing is shiny Ponyta / Rapidash is not that usable on an Iron Man account. You can't get Flame Body, I believe, because it's a hidden ability, I think, if I recall correctly. And I'd have to get a hidden ability. I have to get Prismatic Pearls to transfer hidden ability onto this, so that's probably not happening. I'm gonna go my Parasect here, I think. Do I have a KO move on this? Okay, I do, yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I can Rock Smash the baby one. Why does it have Hypnosis? That's so funny that the shiny Ponyta has Hypnosis. Wow, okay. Wow, okay. What turn is it? I can like timer ball this probably. It is turn 6. I am gonna Spore. I'm dodging everything. I'm not going to False Swipe here just in case it has takedown. We've seen Fire Spin, Stomp, Hypnosis. It might not, but just in case. Just in case. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. It's so funny. If you know me, I have a long history with shiny Ponyta. And on the main account, I hate shiny Ponyta. It's actually like my least favorite shiny in the whole game. At least in terms of... But like on the Iron Man account, I mean, I'll take anything. I have no beef with that. That's crazy, dude. 1 times 31 attack. I will take it. No other stats. Wasn't expecting anything crazy. Wow. I'll take it. Beautiful. We've reset the encounter counter to 0. Was not expecting a shiny this episode. That is wild. Down to 0 we go. Now, I'm going to go heal up really quick. Get back. I was trying to... I got a shiny before I got 1 amulet coin. I was just trying to farm amulet coins. Oh, that's so crazy. Well, okay. Back to shiny hunting. I'm just stunned. I'm going to eat my fish sticks and hopefully see you guys with some amulet coins. Jeez Louise. Thanks for watching. Like the video. Subscribe. All that jazz. All right, I am back about 5 hours later. Did a lot of amulet coin farming, probably only about 3 hours of actual farming, really on and off, just watching movies, hanging out, relaxing while making some progress. There we go, 20 amulet coins added. That will give us a ton of Jimmy runs in the future. That's going to equate to 20 amulet coins. What's the math on that? We'll bring up our calculator for a quick sec here over on the right-hand part of our screen. We'd end up doing around, we make around 250k per Jimmy run. Not perfect, but around that. And then times 20. That's going to be 5 million Poke Yen, essentially, of Jimmy runs. So that's awesome. And oh yeah, I mean, we do have this this shiny Ponyta, I guess, now. That's kind of fucking crazy. I still haven't really, I just can't believe this happened. It was just so out of nowhere. Yeah, new shiny on the account, man, at 347 hours. Also back up to almost 2,000 encounters just doing all that Amulet coin farming. I think I got really, really, really bad luck on the Amulet coin farming, though, I will say, which is why it took so long just to get 20 of them. I feel like previously I was doing like 8 an hour, and I think I got 20 within like 3 to 4 hours of farming. It was quite, you know, quite a bit. So, but you know what? Not trying to complain. Once again, like, my luck has been insane on the account, so it only makes sense on some things I'm going to go a little dry. I might go do a little bit of payday pickup before bed, but it is currently 12:22 a.m., so I'll probably just see you guys tomorrow for Thursday stream. Alrighty, good morning. It is a bright and early Thursday on the Iron Man account. I was doing a little bit of Articuno farming, as you can see I'm up to 700,000 Pokemon, which is super nice. I'm going to be doing a Jimmy run later on stream. Just woke up a little bit early today, so doing a little bit of grinding before stream. I'm at 1,900 encounters since that very sporadic shiny Ponyta, which I still haven't processed. I dreamed last night about getting a shiny on this account, which I haven't done in a very long time. I always say, when you start dreaming about the video games you're playing, that's how you know you're in deep. I dreamed about getting a shiny Petalil, and I'm very vividly, I dreamed about getting a shiny Petalil in a double encounter with an Arbok. And I remember specifically the shiny Petalil was level 17. I don't think this is how it actually is, you know, it's just a dream. But I remember it was level 17, and I false swiped it and didn't deal with the Arbok first, and then I went to go deal with the Arbok, and I realized the Petalil learned Takedown at level 17, and I was like going through my party trying to figure out how I could solve this, and eventually I just had to bite the bullet and like try to take out the Arbok, and the Petalil used Takedown and killed itself. So I had a shiny last night, or a dream last night, that I lost a shiny on the account, which I haven't had a dream like that about a game in a very, very long time. That usually means you're pretty into it, so I take that as a green flag, as a good sign. All right, so initially I was actually going to go do some EV training, but I think I'm switching up plans for one massive reason. I'm actually doing a streamathon coming up this Sunday and also leading into Monday. I set the stipulation that I will stream for at least 1 hour for every single factor sub that I get, and I actually still don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is someone doing some sort of loophole to raise the numbers, but somehow I went from 8 factor subs yesterday night, now up to 28 factor subs. That's 28 hours of streaming. Now, thankfully, I make the stipulation that I'm allowed to stream for 14 hours and then sleep a full 8-9 hours. That'll, you know, 14 hours gives me time to essentially stream all day, still shower, maybe get like an hour of exercise, walking in with the wife, you know, etc., etc. Live a mostly healthy life, hilariously, while still playing video games for 14 hours a day. Obviously, sitting that long is not great. We take tons of stretch breaks every 3 hours or so. But that's the plan. So I want to save as much grindy activities as possible for that 28 hours of stream. That's a long time of streaming. I need to make sure I have enough content set up for that. Obviously, Articuno hunting and Raikou hunting is going to take the forefront of my mind, and it's honestly kind of perfect timing because those dates are going to end up being on June 29th and June 30th, aka the last 2 days for me to hunt for the legendary Pokemon. So it's kind of lining up perfectly, and hopefully 28 hours is enough time to maybe even get both of them if I'm lucky enough. But I do want to go ahead and actually do some breeding is my initial point. I was going to do some EV training, possibly even EV train my shiny Corsola finally, maybe even, you know, my shiny Ponyta that's now sitting over here. I'm going to move that over to my UT box, even though it's not amazing. I'll probably just end up EV training this 252 attack, 252 speed, just to use it for something or have it around. But I want to have as many Pokemon that need EV trained, that need XP trained as possible, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to my 1x31s. I have so many Pokemon here, obviously, that need to be bred. So the more I breed, the better. I'm going to look for some quick breeds to do it, maybe even create some long-term PVM Pokemon right now, similar to that Sandile we crafted and haven't been able to use quite yet. I want to keep an eye out for more important raid Pokemon like that. And with that information in mind, that brings us up to our first breed, aka a beautiful Poison Heal Gliscor. You see, Gliscor is one of the most important Pokemon in OU, and I really want to build myself a good PvP team, specifically in OU. The reason why I want to focus on OU, I've talked about it vaguely in the past, but really number one, because OU is actually the easiest constructed tier to get into as a new player. There's a lot of people that play OU, so you have more chance to run into new players, like-minded players like yourself, and win more games. When you're queuing for things like NU or UU, I used to be a big NU player, for example, you've run into a lot of experts and specialists. Most people playing NU are really good at NU, so you have to be able to hold your own, and that's very, very difficult. Now, the other thing is the rewards themselves. The OU reward right now, which I won't be able to get, but it's usually very powerful Pokemon, right? In OU, you get OU reward Pokemon, which are powerful Pokemon, which will also be good in PVM. Most of the rewards you often see in lower tiers aren't as good in PVM, things like Cinccino. Now, this NU example is actually an outlier. Honchkrow is amazing for the red refight, so that's a cool one. We also have Porygon Z over here in UU, not very good in PVM, honestly, a good storyline runs, but a pretty good example. Doubles, we see Garchomp. Doubles is obviously a high tier, so it makes sense. But yeah, Conkeldurr in OU. So very powerful Pokemon right here. Doing OU is going to get you more powerful Pokemon in general. Let's go ahead and carry through with this breed. We can actually see I'm doing a few specific things here. I'm actually Everstoning my Venomoth, so I am risking a roll here on my defense. I'm hoping this at least medium roll. Same with the HP is that, like, there's a bit of RNG here, unfortunately. I'm not guaranteed passing the speed. There's a lot. There's three different 3x31s that could roll here. It's only coming out guaranteed Spadef. This is a very, very, very weird breed, but it's kind of the best I can do. I'm going to put this bad boy in a Luxury Ball, and hopefully this will be the last breed. Glidar, make it female so I can rebreed it if I need to. I'm Everstoning the Careful Nature because that is really, really relevant nature, and nature is more important most of the time than IVs. We can head back over to our little page here, go over to Gliscor. Poison Heal, the hidden ability, which I thankfully do have with it being alpha, is used all the time. I do need a Toxic Orb for this, which is the big downside, so I'm going to have to find myself a Toxic Orb, either by finding one in the wild, which is very rare, or getting the BP to actually purchase one. So that'll be a difficult thing, but I think it is worth breeding this for the future. Most of them come out, you want them to be Impish or Careful Nature, which is exactly what I'm doing. So I'm actually able to get the second most used move here, which is amazing. Gliscor it can be a stall Pokemon, which I don't want to play, don't get me wrong. No, I want to say no disrespect to stall players, but maybe a little bit of disrespect to stall players. Not generally a fun archetype to play in Pokemon, especially not very fun to play against. So I have no plans to build stall. This Gliscor will definitely be a faulty pivot Pokemon for my team, allowing me to set up rocks, U-turn out, and have it switch into certain things to hold together, be the glue that holds together a more competitive, offensive, balanced team. At the moment, I am not trying to construct the most perfectly well-balanced PvP team. I'm honestly just breeding and creating a lot of PvP Pokemon that I like and I enjoy, and I kind of want to pilot for fun, as well as I know could be very powerful on an Ironman account. I'm definitely prioritizing Pokemon that can set up once or twice and take over games. That is a quick way to get some cheap wins in PokeMMO PvP when you're not the best player in the world. Hopefully I actually learn and get better over time, which I'm sure I will, but it's a nice little way to start. Next up, we have this Larvesta. I do want to go ahead and breed this sucker up and try to get it to be a Volcarona. Quiver Dance Volcarona, very powerful, very important. You gotta respect that bad boy in PvP. Now, thankfully, the one Larvesta I caught, a very, very rare wild spawn, actually has 1, 2, 3 of the 5 stats that it needs. That's really, really good, man. 20 plus in Spatak, Spadef, and HP. I will happily take that. Now, we do need a Ditto to match this thing up, and that Ditto is either going to want like a high speed, 31 speed, or a high defense. I'm going to look around a little bit. I could arguably even look for one that has the correct nature that I want. It has to be a Ditto, because it has to come out as a Larvesta, and obviously getting more Larvestas would be extremely difficult. Let's go ahead and see defense. I'm not going to breed my one Alpha Ditto for this, even though it is modest. That's honestly pretty tempting, but not worth it here. I'm not going to throw that away for this quite yet. I can definitely do multiple breeds on this. I'm looking for 31 speed with a Ditto. It does need to be 20 plus in the other stats is the only concern. I could HP brace the 29 HP. That is totally fine. This might actually work, this Ditto right here. And it's also not throwing away the most valuable Ditto in the world, which is something I do want to concern myself with. It is adamant 31 speed, so I'd rather use this one, which isn't like throwing away a good nature. This one I could go ahead, and I think this would also work. I could go ahead and special attack brace the split attack on my Larvesta, speed brace the speed, and get this bad boy going. This is most likely just the start to the breed. I doubt this will be the final breed for a competitive Larvesta. Actually, I don't think it's even possible. I'd have to get that defense stat up, which is just absolutely crucial. I'm definitely going to pay the 5K to make this female. Boom. And I'm really hoping, I'm just thinking about that Gligar egg. There's so many rolls that are happening here. Only 31 Spadef is guaranteed. We got to keep that in mind. All right, hilariously, there's actually an Alpha Corsola right now, which is a really good Water A egg group breeder. Water A and Water C, but Water C is not nearly as good. Water A is very, very good, being the same egg group as Dragonite and things like Kingdra, if I recall correctly. Water A is just generally a very powerful, very powerful egg group. All right, but before we go do that Alpha, our Gligar did hatch. We have a lot of rolls to see here. It came out careful. That's expected. We did randomly... This is so good. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. It medium rolled HP. I think it medium rolled defense, and then it high roll attack. This beautiful, beautiful Gligar will do absolute wonders. That's all I needed. I didn't want to low roll any of the important things, but it was kind of risky. Like I could have low rolled. I think I might have low rolled attack, which is the luckiest option. Oh, that's amazing. That's a beautiful, beautiful Gligar. The question will become, how do I actually EV train it? That is up for debate. Do I go 2v2 HP, 2v2 Spadef to lean into the special defense bulk? Do I just go 2v2 HP, 2v2 defense? There's actually a lot of decisions there. I could go 2v2 HP, split the defenses 126 each. I don't think I want to go into attack, but I could if I wanted like a super aggressive Gliscor, but I think a lot of my team's going to be super aggressive. I don't think this is the place to go super aggressive. If you guys have suggestions on how I should EV train that, let me know in the comments. All right, here we are at the Alpha course. So let's go ahead and jump into the counter. Got to record just in case of a one-day Shalfa happening, but no Shalfa today. That's expected. That's okay. It's female, which is honestly unfortunate. It is 75% chance for it to be female, so it's a much greater chance, so it makes sense. Would have loved for this to be a male breeder, but that's okay. Can't have everything. I'll see you guys with the catch. Well, this Corsola encounter is causing me a little bit of problems. It did become indignant, so it's now +3 in every stat. If I don't catch it here in typical Iron Man fashion, I'm probably cooked. Come on. I mean, it's every time. Every time. That's okay. What are you going to do? Well, 3 times 31. I'll take it happily. We got to get back to other things, but thank you, Corsola. All right, my Larvesta did hatch. Let's go ahead and check it out. It did randomly roll mild, which is like arguably usable. The problem, okay, I'm going to be honest. I think the defense stat is pretty relevant on Volcarona. Like you actually do want to be somewhat bulky on this thing. Actually, especially your defense stat, because you're usually boosting your special defense with Quiver Dance. So your special defense like can be managed and taken care of in that way. You don't have that same luxury with your defense. Your defense to keep you alive while you set up is really important. So I don't think I'm going to Everstone that nature. Let's go see if we have a breeder. I think I have been like really purposeful in catching a bunch of bug A group breeders though. So let's see what we have. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I have way less breeders for Larvesta than I realized. I have exactly 1 Wurmple with Bold Nature, which is very, 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 very good. That actually pairs up perfectly with this Larvesta. You actually can go Bold Volcarona. It's one of the more played ones. Let's go check. Usually you go like Timid or Modest, but you can go Bold as well. Bold usually goes like Leftovers, Bold. I think you can go... I forget if this thing gets Roost. I always forget. But I believe you can go some crazy set that is like Quiver Dance, Bold, you go bulky, you go like 2v2 HP, 2v2 defense, and basically just get like as bulky as possible to allow yourself to set up Quiver Dances and be unkillable, and you can even sustain with Giga Drains. Yeah, no Roost, that would be a little crazy, but you do have access to like Giga Drain for some sustain and just doing shenanigans. This is also Larvesta instead of Volcarona's move pool. To be fair, I don't have Volcarona in my deck, so I might be missing something there. The question becomes, do I really want to go ahead and use this 1 Wurmple on this Larvesta? The honest answer is I don't think I do, sadly. I think I'd rather go ahead and get this defense stat up, if that makes sense. Get this defense stat up first, and then breed with the Wurmple, and just go for Bold. I didn't really want a Bold Volcarona, I will say. I think I prefer Modest or Timid on this thing, so... Man, I don't want to quite finish up this breed yet. I can't even Everstone this in 1 breed. The problem is I'd have to defend. I have to brace the 21 defense which kind of defeats the purpose. So I don't want to use this Wurmple quite yet. I don't see that being the value. Yeah, other than that, I sadly just don't have any other bug Pokemon. I probably could create a breeder. That might be the next step. It might be worth, like, this Wurmple is really interesting. It might be worth to create a breeder for this Larvesta. All right, I might have actually found the perfect breeding pair. So I have this Wurmple here with 25 plus in HP, defense, special defense, and speed, and it needs special attack. That's the thing that's missing. And then I have this male Lediba over here, 31 attack. I can go ahead and brace that onto it, brace the HP on this Wurmple, and create an amazing Pokemon. So I think that's going to be the strat. We'll be losing speed with this, but that's fine. We have 31 speed over on this Larvesta, so we should be totally good. I'm going to go grab the braces and start this breed. It felt really interesting to do a lot of breeds in this episode. I apologize if it's not the most interesting piece of content. I'm honestly not sure how people will receive this sort of video, so if you have feedback, please let me know. In my personal opinion, breeding is so much of the PokeMMO endgame, and this sort of puzzle-solving aspect with the Pokemon that you guys have literally seen me caught throughout the whole series and call out like, oh wow, later on that could be a Larvesta breeder. I find it very satisfying, and I hope you guys find it that way as well. I think it's very, very cool to see the pieces that we literally call out, you know, 2-3 episodes ago end up becoming those exact pieces we prophesized about. But I could also understand how seeing me run in and out of the daycare isn't the most exciting content at all times. Whoa, this just happened in live time. Oh, I'm really glad I was online for that. Did you guys see that at the bottom of the screen? That's crazy. That was the 200. I've never been online at the time where that had happened. 11 seconds ago. I'm so glad I caught that. That's so cool. Your account's reward balance has been updated, plus 250. That is the RP that I got from getting 4th place in that catch event with the Rodriguez. That was so cool to see that in live time. I've never seen that before, even though I think that's the 4th or 5th catch event that I've placed in my lifetime. Probably done around 140 or so catch events in PokeMMO in my lifetime. Pretty lucky, honestly. That's a lot of catch event placements. Yeah, here's the Rodriguez itself, the 4th place winner. Couldn't believe it. So we have that 250 RP now, dude. Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and spend it, I think. I'm going to go ahead and spend it. My next purchase would probably be like the burger hat, hilariously. But obviously, don't have that right now. Don't want to go for that right now. I could potentially save this, but I don't want to. I think I'm going to go ahead and get myself the Fly Ocarina, because this is a legitimate, pragmatic purchase. A lot of the ocarinas are not needed. People always ask, should I buy all the ocarinas? No. Most of the ocarinas are paying for convenience. You don't need the ocarinas. One of the exceptions might be the Fly Ocarina, specifically with gym reruns and with certain strategies, with certain gameplay loops. Having the Fly Ocarina is going to allow me. There we go. We just got it. Having the Fly Ocarina is going to allow me to do gym reruns without having to have a Moltres or a Wingull or certain Pokemon in my party. It could actually also be pretty good for XP training with the XP Reamplifier and not needing fly Pokemon in my party, and it's sucking up XP for that reason. So very happy, very, very happy with that Fly Ocarina. That's a permanent addition to the account. The only problem is now I have 50 RP left over, and that can't really buy anything. I think it can maybe buy dyes. No, not even. The dyes are 75. So yeah, that's the only awkward thing, is that 50 RP is going to sit there for quite a while on the account. But maybe one day we'll use it. Honestly, it's kind of a cool little extra trophy. And there is our Wurmple hatch. Let's go check it out. Lonely Nature is not relevant. The stats came out about as expected. Not 31 defense. It is 31 attack. Now, the only awkward part is, I don't think I can brace this attack. I don't know if that was worth bracing on the previous breed then, but I think it's still worth it. You still want to have those high numbers for those rolls. I think the best way to handle this breed is by going with a speed brace on my Larvesta and a defense brace on my Wurmple. This feels really bad, I'm not gonna lie. We're missing this 31 attack, which would be super nice. We're gonna have a chance to roll it. It is a 12.5% chance, very low chance to high roll that. So it's unlikely. We do want to pay for it to be female. We need a nature roll here as well, as the other massive problem. So this might not be done yet. Probably not done yet. It'd have to roll a lot of things well, but let's just go ahead and get that breed one step further into the process. All right, the Larvesta did hatch. It came out with really, really good IVs, as you can see here. 27 defense, 28 HP, 25 attack, 25 special defense, 31 speed. Amazing, amazing stats. and it is wrong nature. And that was a big risk. That was, you know, that was expected even. So we will have to get this thing a proper nature in the future, but it's a really nice solid start to a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Volcarona. All right, I was actually sorting through my boxes really quick, just doing something else after the Larvesta hatch, and I think this list of natures you can see here in the bottom left-hand corner, this is what I need left to finish my entire team of all synchronized Pokemon. So I still need a brave synchronized Pokemon, impish, timid, jolly, naive, mild, and rash. That's not too many. It's about, what is that, 3, 6, 7? That's kind of a lot of natures, I'm going to be honest, but it's not too shabby. I do have a few down here that need to be ability pilled, but I went ahead and just moved all the Abras and stuff over to this box where I can have them in the future. Getting every single synchronized Pokemon is on my list. Having one of each, well, at least all the good ones. To be fair, I don't count like lax or jolly natures in that list because they're just not beneficial. They're not, like, you never want a lax natured Pokemon that's minus defense, or sorry, plus defense minus special defense. Nobody wants that. That's just kind of like a meme nature, and you'll almost never see those. Like 99% of catch events, you'll almost never see those pop up in catch events. Synchronized Pokemon, if you happen to not know, they give you a very decently increased chance to encounter Pokemon with the same nature as that Pokemon. It's a 20% chance if you actually lead. So we can go ahead and lead our party and see Synchronize will pop up in the top left-hand corner. 20% chance for wild Pokemon to match nature, which is very relevant for certain Pokemon farming, farming competitive Pokemon, farming breeders, and extremely important for catch events as well. So having one of each synchronized Pokemon is a really cool little intermediate term goal, mid-term goal to go ahead and shoot for. And I'm about 7 Pokemon away from it at the moment. I wanted to go ahead and talk about that. I can actually go farm for those and do that while doing my Articuno hunt. So I'm probably going to go ahead and go live here in a quick sec, do my typical stream recap, do a gym rerun to start the stream always. And then after that gym rerun, hopefully I remember, I might forget, but hopefully I remember to go farm some synchronized Pokemon over in Kanto. I did want to quickly mention, someone actually did go ahead and bring up recently that I could farm Xatu/Natsu over in one of the Safari Zones, and that is not a bad idea at all. That would be a much more cost-effective way to catch my synchronized Pokemon. So honestly, I really liked that suggestion. However, I'm not going to do it because the speed tier really matters. Xatu is like a 45 base speed Pokemon. It's actually like quite slow. Whereas Kadabra, not even Alakazam, but Kadabra has a base stat speed of 105. So having fast synchronized Pokemon so you can run away from every wild Pokemon that you encounter is very, very, very important. You don't want to get stuck with a brave Pokemon, a minus speed nature one that can't run from battles when you're trying to farm something. That can be a pain in the butt. You also want to spend as little time and effort training your synchronized Pokemon as possible. If you are spending a bunch of time XP training all these to level 100 or level 70, that's a lot of time waste that could be spent on other things. So I like to keep my synchronized Pokemon nice and simple, so I'll be farming some Abras. All right, we are back on the Iron Man for a beautiful morning on stream. I'm going to go ahead and pop one of my 20 newfound Amulet coins. Go ahead and jump into this gym run. Hopefully make some decent Pokeyen. I want to stick to the more found strategy of actually just skipping the risky gyms. For a while, I was doing the risky gyms. I make a lot more Pokeyen if I just skip them. So I'm going to try to stick to that, try to do that. And today I have my XP share Breloom in the back, as well as my Garchomp. Since we have that newfound Fly Ocarina, it actually allows me to do the gym rerun in a much better, much more efficient way, not having to have a fly Pokemon in my party, which is massive. All right, now I want to do something very specific today on the Iron Man. I actually have a list of natures that I still need for synchronized Pokemon. So I'm going to be heading over to Cerulean City, heading over to this little area at Abras, running back and forth with my Swarm Beedrill just to get me more encounters. And I'm just going to be quick balling any Abras that I encounter. It should be 100% catch rate. I do have chance for Articuno here, which is amazing, number 1. And then number 2, it pushes me closer to that synchronized goal. So I'm able to essentially work towards 2 goals at once. Go for that Articuno, that legendary catch passively, as well as hopefully get myself some good synchronized Pokemon to have one for each nature. They really come up and really matter for catch events and just farming certain Pokemon long term. So we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully we can at least knock off like a few off the list would be amazing. Beautiful. There's our first nature that we need. We caught about, I think it's been 10 minutes so far. We've caught about 4 different Abras. It's also already synchronized. No reason to ability pill. Nice. That is timid. Done with. We can actually go ahead and knock that off the list now. Hell yeah. I got the Petrowski food tick of the day, bro. Okay, my wife, my fucking angelic wife, was nice enough to pick me up Cane's for lunch. I don't even know what this is. Some Caniac combo. She went all out. I have no idea. Cane's is one of the weirdest restaurants. One of the straight up weirdest. Everything at Cane's is dry and bad, you know? The bread's buttery. The bread's very buttery. The chicken, the fries, everything's dry and bad. But when you take that dry and bad stuff and you dip it in that sauce, it makes it so good, and it all harmonizes so well together, and it's so weird. It's so strange. Like, it's almost better than if you dipped really good, like, high quality chicken tenders in the sauce. It wouldn't be as good. It literally tastes better to have this cheap, shitty, dry chicken dipped in this wet, delicious sauce. They figured out some weird chemical makeup, I swear. They hacked the code, man. They found out that if you have the crappiest food and then dip it in the best sauce, it actually tastes better. I don't know why. It's really good. Cane's is definitely an experience, but it's good to know ahead of time what it's like. All right, there's an impish catch as well. This one is not synchronized. I think I'm going to go ahead and just use ability pill to change a lot of these. It's going to be really expensive. I'm going to be spending like hundreds of thousands of Pokeyen to fix a lot of these Abras, but I'd rather save the time, honestly, because I'm getting plenty of Pokeyen now from Jimmy Run, so this is what it's for, you know? I'm going to save the time, use that, and then, yeah, it'll knock off another off the list. I need to actually, fix my list. Here you go. This is the new updated list. We already got 2 done. We've been at this for about 19 minutes, and I've been eating my lunch, so I'm a little slower. We have 5 left. Very happy with that. It's very good, lucky progress so far, honestly. Bro, I think my cat is giving me some good luck or something. There's the Brave Abra. Shout out Ronnie. I am just pet sitting, and it's not my cat that I own, but it's a really, really cute, beautiful cat that we're watching. What's up, buddy? Thank you very much. He is clearly giving me some good luck, because there is the Brave. I'll have to ability pill that, but there is the Brave Nature one as well, man. Another Abra catch, dude. Hell yeah. Mild Nature, Synchronized. That's just another one off the list, dude. I can't believe how fast this is going. Only 3 left. I've probably only been doing this for about 30 minutes or so. That is not too shabby. All right, another Nature off the list. Been about 40 to 50 minutes now, so it's been a lot more time, but very happy with that progress. We'll have to ability pill that, unfortunately, but it's worth it. I'm going to go ahead and I might just try to finish this. I can actually also go breed some of the Abras, just like breed them together and just re-roll the nature essentially and just hope for the best. We need Naive and Jolly still. 2 different speed natures left. Dude, this is super fucking impressive. This is the world first. This is the first time I've seen this. Iron Old Mib, I think is how you say that, I assume. He is the first person. Iron Old Mib. He's the first person to create the advanced 6-pillar Jimmy Run team on an Iron Man account. Got all the correct natures. Here's the stats. 31, attack on the Wheezing. 31's in the right spots. I cannot express to you. It looks simple and easy just looking at it. Like, oh, it's already made and done. This must have been... I would bet 100 hours to make this team. Like legitimately, probably a lot of time. Probably. And oh my god. How does he have so many choice items? Wait, he has 2 choice bands, 2 choice scarves, 2 choice specs? Dude, the choice items alone. He said it took him 180 hours. Holy, that's crazy. Like that. Good for him. Almost 200 hours on a main account. For reference, I built this team in like less than a week. Probably less than 20 hours. Probably way less than that. Probably like, holy fuck, dude. Yeah, that's insane. It took him almost 200 hours to build this team. What an achievement, man. People, it's so impressive and so cool to see how seriously people are taking the Iron Man accounts. That is really impressive, man. Congratulations to him. That is a world first. Very, very impressive stuff. All right, I've caught a fair bit of Abras. We're only missing 2 natures, Jolly and Naive. I want to go breed a few of them and just like randomly roll them and see what happens. I might have some Shiddos. This is a perfect extra use of my Shiddos as well, as opposed to just rare shiny hunting or whatever. This is a perfect little extra use of my bad IV Dittos. Let's go ahead and put everything away really quick. Maybe leave that out for a quick sec. We'll grab our Flame Body Pokemon. Where is it at? Where's our Slugma at? Did I put in the wrong box? Oh, I just couldn't see it. Okay, we'll grab this and let's search for Abra. I should move the natures, the ones that matter, over to the box. Like Modest, we already have. Sassy, I don't know if we have. Bold, I think we already have. Oh, everything was sorted, so all the new Abras are over here. Okay. I'm going to move a bunch of our new natures over to my account box, like Timid, for example. I'm going to move a lot of these over. I'll do a lot of this on the back end, sorting stuff, and then I'll rebreed some extra ones. Like, I can even breed them together. Like, this Sassy one and this Abra, I can just breed together. Or use Shiddos. Here, we'll get... You know what we'll do? we'll get a few breeds cooking and then hatch the eggs while I do the box sorting. That's efficiency. All right, I went through our boxes. We even replaced some that we would have had to previously pay for ability pills on. So we saved some Pokeyen by catching more Abras. And here's a bunch of them down here, obviously. We did hatch 5 Abras. I'm hoping I'm hoping to see Jolly or Naive. Perfect. Beautiful. I have to ability pill this, but there we go, boys. There we go. Naive, done. Timid, docile. Okay, I'll take one being completed in the batch. I'm so down. That will go down here. These can get rebred still. We have a bunch of extra ones over here. I'm going to pair these up with whatever dittos that I can. And I'm going to keep doing these little shitto breeds with the Abras to get extra nature rolls. Honestly, I'm so down for this. We have plenty of Pokemon to do this for. Why not? Should definitely use our shittos for advantage when we can. Aside from just, you know, rare shiny hunting. We have a few more breeds set up. I'll see you guys hopefully with some egg hatches. Wait, you're so right. It might be worth to have use Everstone. If I have a single Ditto with Jolly Nature, I can do that. You're actually so smart. Jolly. We have one, but it's noted. Is it worth... It's not worth wasting this. So I also have female Abras. If I have a humanoid egg group Jolly, and not good stats, but this one does have good stats. Don't want to waste that either. Okay, I think I just go ahead and do some rerolls then. If I had a breeder, I could, but I think for now we'll just go. It was a really good idea. I do have plenty of Everstones to use on breeds like that. It was a really good idea. There it is, fellas. The very last nature that I needed, Jolly Synchronize. We are fully done, fellas. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That is our entire Synchronized collection complete on our Iron Man account. We'll have to EV train them and XP train them in the future at some point, but we will now have this collection of Abras for the rest of time. We can use these for catch events, for farming other Pokemon. These will be immensely useful for the rest of the time on this guy. It takes up a lot of PC space, is my only concern, honestly. It's kind of a lot, but I think it's worth it. I'm going to go ahead and just... It kind of hurts, but just release these, I think. Yeah, I'd rather just have the PC space. We have all the natures we need. I'd rather just get those suckers out of there. Honestly, any other leftover Abras I have, I probably could just go ahead and delete as well. This one's... It could be a breeder, but it doesn't have any other stat. This is a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff is just constantly deleting Pokemon. Constantly just deleting stuff. There we go. My bot base I feel very happy with right now, though. It's very... Like, it's not bad. I would even say quite good. The fact that I have... Look at this. I almost only have 2 boxes of Pokemon up front here. That's really, really good. I have 3 and 4 and 5 almost fully, completely clean. I've been very on top of it recently, dude. Hell yeah. All right, we are back to our Articuno hunt, fellas. I'm just going to lead with our Swarm Beedrill for a little bit, run back and forth, see what happens. Alrighty, good morning. It's a beautiful Friday morning as I'm recording this. How are we doing today? I want to do a quick little checkpoint. I'm at 910,000 Pokeyen from a lot of payday pickupping and just do my Jimmy runs, of course. I do have a Jimmy run I still can do today. I don't know if I'll get around to it. We'll have to see. I'm at 2,374 encounters since the last shiny, and I think at this point I'm around 8,000 encounters towards any legendary, whether that is Articuno or Raikou. I did a bit of encounters towards both of them. But I was looking at my goals sheet and trying to figure out what is the most important thing I can do right now. And it's pretty crazy how many things I can do. I've been theory crafting, you know, working on my Breloom and actually finishing up that amazing catching Pokemon. That will help me a lot in the future and do more efficient Ditto farming, which is really important for pretty much every single breed from this point forward. But it's currently level 84. I've been passively leveling this via gym runs and it's been working extremely, extremely well. It's almost level 100. I probably can go ahead and get a False Swipe TM, put False Swipe on it pretty much now. I might just go ahead and take this time, kind of do a little bit of a reflection morning, realigning my goals and doing a few different things, as opposed to just running back and forth for Articuno and losing my mind even more. And thankfully, with that big streamathon coming up, I'm kind of just reserving all of my legendary hunting and that sort of grinding activities for that day. When I was, you know, streaming 14 hours a day, I'm sure my brain is going to be mush, so it's going to be better to reserve mush brain type activities to that versus things like breeding. I really don't want to be like breeding up Pokemon on that day. I'm going to make way too many mistakes if I try to do that. I went ahead and bought a False Swipe TM. I'm also going to go ahead and buy a Substitute TM. This is my favorite moveset to run on a catching Breloom like this. Big fan of Spore, False Swipe, and Substitute. The big benefit of Substitute is being able to sustain your HP with Poison Heal and the Toxic Orb, which I don't have right now, unfortunately. That's the main downside here. But you can essentially infinitely sustain your HP, and as long as you can outspeed your opponent, keep them asleep, and literally take no damage, unless your opponent has like Infiltrator. That's come up a time or two in the past with like alpha chandelures or things like that, like really weird ones. You can run into problems of them just hitting straight through you, but that's going to happen regardless. So big fan of Spore, False White, Substitute, Poison Heal, Toxic, or Breloom. Really powerful catching Pokemon. All we need to round this out, this is a perfect moveset. We can keep Seed Bomb. This is perfect. We just need a Toxic Orb. And Toxic Orb, the problem is, it's a decently expensive BP item, and I've been pretty low on BP for quite a while. I'm actually going to have to learn some BP farming here at some point and start doing some Battle Tower, like I've seen a few other people on different Iron Man accounts doing. Or I could go try to farm a Toxic Orb off of a Muck. They're just extremely rare. And the question becomes, which is more worth my time, the BP farm or the Toxic Orb farm? And I think it might actually be farming the Toxic Orb off of the Muck, unfortunately. But it's hard to say. I mean, this thing is a rare spawn at certain locations, and then the Toxic Orb is a rare chance to be held. Also, Mucks have Sticky Hold, which prevents you from even taking the item from the Pokemon, so you usually have to just catch the Muck outright, which would be decent to get some Chaos Egg Group Breeders. For reference, it is literally a 1% chance for a Muck to be holding a Toxic Orb. So I honestly doubt that's going to be the best strat. This is also why Poison Orb farming is not very good for profit on a main account. Even when they were like 80k a piece, which I'm pretty sure nowadays they're much cheaper. Yeah, even when they were like 80 to 90k, it still wasn't a good moneymaker per hour. Which brings us over to the Battle Tower in the Battle Frontier in Hoenn. A piece of content I don't think I've done within 10 years in PokeMMO. I'm going to give it a shot today. I don't expect to get far, and I'm not trying to perfect things today and get a really good strategy going. I just want to test it out blindly and from scratch. But before we jump into these fights, I have a few Pokemon to clean up really quick to at least make them decently powerful. Firstly, I actually need 2 different ability pills. One to turn Technician on my Hitmontop into Intimidate, and one to turn my Salamance's Moxie into Intimidate as well, ironically. It's a pretty good move. Turns out Intimidate is a pretty darn good ability, especially in doubles, which is what you want to do in the Battle Frontier because double battles are faster than singles, so it's usually better for BP farming. At least that's my assumption with no guide. But here is our first ability pill over on the Hitmontop. If you don't know what it looks like, you actually get to nicely select your ability. You used to just go ahead and like click it and it would switch to the other ability. But when they added hidden abilities like this, it allowed you to have more control over stuff. So there we are, switching that over to Intimidate. The reason why is because this is a special attacking Salamence. So the Moxie is not going to have any extra benefit. Now I want to go ahead and go pick up a Draco Meteor TM for the Salamence, as well as probably something else for this Hitmontop. I don't want it to have Endeavor here. I probably want it to have Rapid Spin is the problem, and I don't know what happened with that. Did I not put Rapid Spin? I think Rapid Spin it is an egg move, but it's also not an egg move is my if I'm understanding correctly. It just learns it. I think that's why I did that, because there's no way I wouldn't put Rapid Spin on this. Yeah, it also just learns it. The problem is, once again, we're running into problem after problem on the Iron Man of like having to go backwards and do things. I need heart scales. I actually really need heart scales. If I want to have good, serious, competitive Pokemon with correct movesets, I need a lot of heart scales. And I don't have any heart scales. I have been heart scale farming on this account, so that's a big farm I've got to do coming up. That might be something I even try out during the big Streamathon. The Streamathon will be fully dedicated to the next episode. Everything I'm doing right now is just in full-on preparation for that. I mean, if you're going to play Pokemon for 14 hours a day, it's probably good to have a plan. But step 1, I do want to go ahead and go grab that Draco Meteor really quick. If our special attacking Salamence is going to be dropping something, it's definitely going to be some big Draco Meteors. Let's go ahead and teach him that. Pretty much every move on this thing is irrelevant, so it'd be nice to place a bunch of other moves here for different coverages, things like Fire Blast. Salamance's special attack coverage is actually pretty nice. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a great flying type special attack coverage move, if I'm not mistaken. He's probably going to have to rock Hurricane and risk that 70% accuracy. He could do a lot of things, though. We could end up going Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Hurricane, Hydro Pump. He can do a lot of wacky little things with this set. I do like the idea of him having some sort of coverage or utility move, not coverage rather, but some sort of something like a Toxic, especially in PvP. If I'm using this thing in PvP, one of its main jobs is going to be to like just sort of come in, cause problems, and be a little bit of a pivot Pokemon as well. So it's not a bad idea to do something like Draco Meteor and then like one more attack move, and then Toxic into like Defog or something like that. You could even arguably, it would have got a different set, to be fair. I'm mild, so the fact that this one is mild makes me kind of want to lean into the full special attack set, which I mean is very Petrowski. Yeah, I could go like Intimidate, Toxic, Roost, Defog, and be like a fully Rocky Helmet defense elements, or I could just go bananas, slap a choice specs on this thing, and smack some people around, hopefully. Wait a minute, we do actually have Air Slash, which is not terrible. I didn't know that was an option on Salamence, if I'm not mistaken. The problem is it's 95% accuracy. You have flinch chance. I do worry about 75% base power plus stab is so significantly different versus the 110 from Hurricane. Let me show you how different it is. The calculator will be in the top right-hand corner for this. When dealing with Pokemon damage numbers, you're not only just considering the 75 base power from Air Slash versus the 110 from Hurricane. You also have to consider the stab multiplier, which if you don't know, stab is same type attack bonus. So if my flying type Gyarados Pokemon uses a flying type move, it gets a 50% damage boost, which is pretty significant. That means that Air Slash would actually end up doing 75 times 1.5, 112 base damage, obviously affected by special attack, your nature, EVs, IVs, etc., etc. However, Hurricane would end up doing 110 times 1.5. So it's not a difference of 110 base damage, which for 75, which is a difference of 35 base damage. It's actually a difference of 165 minus about 113, which is a difference of 52 damage. That is a massive, massive difference. Obviously, you just have to hit your Hurricanes, which I definitely will. Now, I have a Fire Blast TM sitting in my inventory, probably from some sort of storyline thing, so I'm going to go ahead and use that on my Salamence as well. And then we're going to go buy that Hurricane TM for around 25,000 Pokeyen. This is obviously costing me a lot of money. I think I just spent around 150, if not 250. Yeah, I think it was around 150,000 Pokeyen, just like that in the blink of an eye. Here is the Hurricane, though. We're getting this thing nice and moveset, and I'll just keep Toxic on it for now. I think that's totally okay. That'll probably get switched off, but this is what I want at the moment. Now, you do only need 4 Pokemon for this, so I do actually have to cut one of these and make sure I have proper synergies. Even though I just spent all this Pokeyen setting up the Salamence, he's probably the one I drop here, unfortunately, as I probably don't need another special attacker, as well as 2 different Pokemon that are 4 times weak to ice moves, but maybe I'll come back on that and we'll switch it out. I'm really just here to test things right now. Now, I do really wish I had enough heart scales to get Fake Out on this thing. That would help tremendously, allowing me to lead with Typhlosion and Hitmontop, get a nice Fake Out off, and give my Typhlosion a much higher chance of getting off his Eruption. But I don't have the heart scales, so that's a skill gap. Maybe in the future we'll worry about that, but for now, I want to go ahead and just jump into things and see how this plays out. I'm going to go ahead and try my Typhlosion plus Hitmontop lead, and then have my Garchomp plus Moltres in the back, allowing me to Earthquake into my opponent in a doubles battle, and my Moltres not be affected, and then also be able to hit a spread move as well. I haven't done this piece of content in a very long time. I might get destroyed in the very first fight. I genuinely have no idea what to expect. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do this. I actually forgot about this. You only have a certain amount of points, if I recall correctly, you can actually use in this. So thankfully, my team is a low enough point total that it should be fine for my understanding. I think that's how that works, but I honestly don't even remember exactly what those numbers represent. I always tell people, yes, I have over 10,000 hours in PokeMMO. That does not mean that I know everything. This game is so deep. There's so much to explore, so many pieces of content to get into the nitty-gritty for, that things like Battle Tower are things I've barely touched, which is really exciting. There's always more to learn every single day. And today just gets to be one of those days, so let's go ahead and jump into it. This is fight 1 of 7, I believe, per little section, per level. Let's see. He just leads with a Weedle and a Ralts. I'm assuming this fight should be easy, but if I recall correctly, I think I've had problems with this stuff in the past, so you can't be too cocky. You cannot let these guys get in your head. It's pretty easy to make mistakes. Eruption should be good here. I also don't know how relevant, like, PP is, or, like, if you get healed. I have no idea how many healing items you need, or can use, even, in fights like this. I'm just going to go for Stone Edge on Ralts. I'm assuming one of them has access to a Focus Sash, but we'll see. Am I just going to Eruption and destroy both of them? Yep, the Ralts is Focus Sash. I expected one of them to at least be Focus Sash. That is a very common thing you'll see in these fights. We do get the Stone Edge off, KOing the Ralts. Probably should go for a Mach Punch there, just in case. Even though it does way less damage against a Psychic type, you're just trying to get 1 damage off there regardless. I'm going to go ahead and go for Same thing here. Eruption plus probably a Mach Punch into even the Nincada, just something to chip it down. I guess I should have gone for a slower move because now I don't know which one has the sash, but yep, that'll do. That's our first fight taken care of. Obviously wicked easy. I just don't know how difficult these things are going to get from here. Okay, after every single fight, she comes up to you and restores your Pokemon's HP. Does she also restore your PP? Yes. Okay. I didn't know that. That's good to know. That's good information. This is why we're doing this, to scout this out. And in the Battle Frontier, the longer you last, the longer you can hold out and do more repeated fights over and over and over again, the more BP you'll end up earning. Typhlosion's popping off, eruptioning down these first few fights. Even if I can just like spam Eruption into 7 different fights and earn a very small amount of BP, that's worth noting. If I can farm BP very slowly but surely, I might need to do that. All right, we did get hit with our first attack. The opposing spoinked throughout a Psybeam against my Hitmontop. It did a little bit of damage, and I'm honestly just glad something's happening, I guess. The Eruption coming out again should be taking out the Spoink, and hopefully the Coughing at the same time. That would be ideal. Let's see. The Spoink actually lives, which is crazy. This little pig being this tanky is awesome to see. Thankfully, we take it out and should get healed after this fight. That should be GG's. And I think from this point, it's obviously looking pretty darn good. I'll probably just see you guys when I get myself into a predicament. All right, I believe that was fight number 6 taken care of. And I think, yeah, this is fight number 7. And after fight number 7, I think you get your first amount of BP. So we're at 3,615 at the moment. Let's see if we get a little BP bump. Even if it's not that much and I can just grind this first round over and over and over again, it wouldn't be like amazing BP, but it's something. And it's a good way for me to actually farm BP. It's really hard to even find methods at all to farm BP. So let's see how this goes, especially without playing PvP. So let's go ahead and see. I'm going to do my typical stuff here of just Eruption into... I'm going to Mach Punch first here. Let's see how this plays out. We get a defense drop into a speed, sure, whatever. I'm a little scared. I should have... Kabuto Rock Tombs my Typhlosion and one-shots him because of the speed boost he got. Okay, that's unfortunate. We have to adjust our strategy. That's after the Intimidate proc, I believe, from... Hitmontop, which is actually crazy. Now I think the strat becomes we need to get rid of the side deck. We can't bring our mulch. Am I actually going to lose in the first round? That's so crazy / interesting. I'm going to go ahead and head over here. Go for an EQ. Pretty typical stuff. And then switch to Moltres as well so I can switch back in my Hitmontop later on to get an extra Intimidate proc if I need. An Aerial Ace comes out from the Kabuto onto the Pokemon. It's not too bad. We get an EQ onto the Kabuto, killing it. Do we not hit... Doesn't affect Psyduck. Is this Psyduck fucking air balloon and I didn't realize? It literally alerted me and told me that it's air balloon. I just didn't notice. That's so sad. Did this Psyduck just icy wind me to lower my speed, adding utility to his team while bringing... Oh no, I actually might lose this, which is just pitiful. Okay, our best bet. I'm choice band locked in. I think I do take my switch now to reset my speed on this. And then what? Just go for like Heat Wave, fish for like a burn on both of these, spread some damage. I think that's the best play. Go for Heat Wave, get the Intimidate on the Metatite. This will allow me to switch back in my Garchomp and then go for like... I think I could go for like Crunch on Metatite. This is shit. Am I going to lose? I think I'm going to lose. Another speed drop on my Moltres. Icy Wind comes out first. I think this is over. I was just trying to do a little test. I don't know if I can leave it. I think I got to run this back. There's no way I can not beat the very first 7 fights. I'm losing to a Psyduck and a Metatite. I do way more damage than I realized. I just haven't been able to get that damage off. My Mach Punch ended up doing a ton to the Psyduck. The Metatite goes down to 1 HP. As long as this final Pokemon doesn't have... I think this is going to be close. The problem is if he lives and gets off any ice attack like that, then we're probably dead. So, all right. 16 HP. I think he could just... I think if he lives, which he probably will because Shelter has a pretty good base defense. This is so unfortunate. I'm going to end up losing very, 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 very closely here. But, yep. We lost to a fucking Shelter. That's just the Battle Frontier for you, man. Holy. Let's run it back. I got to at least win 7 fights. That's just too embarrassing to leave it at. That was fabulous. I don't know about that, Arthur. I'm going to go for the Salamence this time because I feel like it would actually be a lot more effective than my Hitmontop there. My Hitmontop just wasn't really doing too much, but I don't know if that was the problem. I think I just was a little too lazy at that starting little section there. Oh, I'm doing something. Oh, I'm at the wrong one. There we go. We're going to head over here. Let's head over here, jump into this challenge, and check this out. Eventually, I'll have to actually look up a proper guide and see if this is doable. Let's jump into it. Attempt number 2. Surely I can beat 7 NPCs with Weedles. Okay, we are on opponent number 6, and so far this strategy is working significantly better. Just being faster than my opponent here is so much more important than having that Hitmon top. He was just way too slow, and that was something I wasn't really factoring. And I haven't done a lot of, you know, serious competitive PVM like this in a long time, aside from raids. And raids work out entirely differently because you're coordinating with teammates and doing a lot of setup and different things, and there's a lot of strategies knowing heading in. This is just all off the cuff stuff, so it's been really fun to experiment with this. Here we are back on opponent number 7. Let's see if we can actually win this time. I think we can. With this strategy, I've also mostly just been like control Z spamming. And if I can control Z spam up to the first 7 fights and get any amount of BP, I want to time how long it takes for me to get to that essentially. If I can just like this as you're watching, hold control Z, spam through everything, farm BP, very, very brain dead. That's an amazing thing to know about. Now, I probably should have clicked a little differently, as this Rerun almost definitely would have had Sturdy. I should have known, you know, it's a rock-type Pokemon. This can have Sturdy, whereas the odds of the Mightyena is a lot less. Now, we can go ahead and Eruption, and then I don't want to double Draco Meteor. I probably do, actually, just into what's it called. We do see an Endeavor. It's always the opponent number 7. I've seen 0 issues. I've been dumpstering these fights. And then it's opponent number 7 who just comes out with some shenanigans. Oh, that's okay. This Eruption's going to do very little damage. It's going to take out the Rerun at least. I need to make sure that I'm faster than this Ponyta here, as it does get a boost there. Let's see. I want my... He goes for the Alpha Salamence. I actually want my Typhlosion to die here. I should be able to win this one at least, comparatively to the previous fight. Do I want to just do I want to switch out my Typhlosion? Do I want it to die? I could switch it out here, actually. I guess go over to Moltres. That might be... This Raticate probably has Quick Attack. So I think I'd rather actually let him use that on me like that. And then just go ahead and... We're still just Draco Meteor, even though I'm super down. I'm going to try to Draco Meteor and finish off his Ponyta, which, yup, there we go. We do get that. So this should be a GG's. Yup, and down goes Typhlosion. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and bring it. It doesn't really matter what I do here. I'll just bring in Garchomp, probably go for an Earthquake, and then switch over to my Moltres as well to reset my Salamence, being -6 right now in special attack. So this should be over. I don't know if this will one-shot. Yeah, it does. It's Eradicate. Okay, beautiful. Let's see how much BP I get. Once again, 3615 is my current amount. Let's put this down here in the bottom right-hand corner. We finish up that fight. You've beaten all 7 trainers. We reward you with this BP. Okay, 375 BP is what we got. It's not an amazing amount. I'm curious, like, that versus PvP. Generally, my PvP games take anywhere from, let's say, around 15 minutes on average. 15 minutes on average for a PvP game. You have to win, like, 8 games to get this. Like, 8 to 12 even to get the 500 BP. And you do get a little bit of BP from every single PvP win, but you get less BP from winning randoms. I'm going to go ahead and try this exact same thing again. But this time, I'm going to time it and see how long it takes. All right, ready, set, go. I'm going to start my timer, and I will see you guys when I have that juicy 375 BP. For reference, I think I get about, like, I think I want to say 200 BP every time I win a PvP game, and those games take 15 minutes or so. So that would equate to, if I only win half of my games, and that's something I need to factor in, it probably ends up being like 200 BP every 20 minutes or so on average. Now, you do get BP boosts, which is something to factor in. So let's just say, like, for ultimate charitability, if I'm on a hot streak in PvP, maybe I get 300 BP per 20 minutes, right? So that ends up being 900 BP per hour. I feel like this strat that I'm doing has got to be able to beat that, but I mean, this is why we're testing. This is a very bad run. As you can see, a lot of, like, bad RNG is happening. This weird little Ditto encounter happened. We should be able to clear it up now, but that did take a sec. So let's just see how fast we can do this. If we can do this fight in under 15 minutes, which I'm pretty sure we can, like 7 fights, that would be well worth it. Also, obviously, this is really easy and really brain dead compared to grinding PvP. That could arguably be a negative, though. It kind of depends on the mood. Now, you do want to factor in PvP does have a bunch of other rewards, so I think this is a perfect example of, like, pretty darn good balance. Like, there's going to be some times in my mood and in how my day is going where I'm going to want to grind PvP or even, like, certain goals. If I want to, if I want to go for those those nice, juicy PvP rewards. Things like that competitive Conkeldurr, the free Toxic Orb in OU, right? Like, I'm gonna want to play PvP. The heart scales, you know, there's a lot of things that really, really, really matter here. It's really gonna come down to what are my goals and what's my energy level. Both of these strategies are gonna end up being equally viable. It just depends on what I need, which is what you want to see in an MMO. Right, for reference, I missed 2 Draco Meteors in this one fight. My RNG is really bad right now. This has been a terrible RNG fight, but or just total run in general. But that's a good thing. I'd rather have the math on like what a bad run looks like, so I can undercalc and kind of compare things well. Because I'm sure that sometimes I'm going to end up losing runs here, and that might eat into the BP per hour. All right, I do forget if this is fight 6 or 7. My timer is currently at 10 minutes and 38 seconds. I literally haven't been looking at my screen. This fight, this method is so easy, so brain dead. I've just been holding Control Z while watching YouTube. It's been that chill. So if I can like hardcore AFK farm like this, I mean, that would be amazing. Losing once again a bit of time here just due to weird, you know, RNGs happening in the fight, but it's totally mostly okay. I'm just holding, I can't even just hold Control Z here because I should go for EQ, yep, which my Salamence will dodge. I do forget if this is fight 6 or 7. We'll see now. I'm at 11 minutes and 10 seconds on the timer right now. Let's see. That was fight 7. Pause. 11 minutes and 14 seconds is the final time, and that was like a slow fight. So, wait, and I got more BP. Am I on a streak? I didn't even think about that because I haven't lost. Oh, wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting to be able to Control Z through the... I actually need to put an... I don't have an item on my Salamence. I need to put an item on my Salamence. Oh, man. I wasn't expecting to be able to just spam Control Z through, like, the next stage, so I just didn't even think about that. That's why that was so much harder and there was so much weird RNG. Wow. Even if I assume it takes... Okay. Let's assume it takes 12 minutes per round. Let's do 60 divided by 12. 5. And let's say I get 400 BP per thing. I'm just trying to averaging out. That's 2,000 BP an hour. That's 2,000 BP an hour using a method that I've not strategized for, not thought about, not plain. No, this is worst case scenario, lowest, you know, shit. It's still BP is still really hard to get. In the future, the end game strat on this account would end up being the red refight for BP. There are better end game things for BP, do not get me wrong. I don't want to be sitting here doing this for my entire life. That would be miserable. But right now, this is honestly the perfect mid-game environment and perfect strategy to earn some extra BP. I think I'm going to go ahead and just sit here and press Control Z until I lose, and that'll be my current end of this test. All right, I mean, I'm just ready to conclude this test and call it a success, but I can't stop losing. Over here, you know, I'm doing the Control Z strat still, and I won again. So we're going to get 625 BP this time, a lot more, and I guess jump back into it. Well, let me go ahead and actually put an item on. All of this has been without an item, by the way, on my Salamence, which is just absolutely crazy. I'm going to go ahead and actually take the wide lens from my Moltres and put that on the Salamence, because I do miss the Draco Meteor quite a lot. And I'm just going to put something stupid on my Moltres, like a Quick Claw, just to get some cheese kill or something like that if it comes up. So I'm going to jump back in. I'm strictly only spamming Control Z, so I'm not using any strategy. I'm not thinking. I'm just clicking the first moves that pop up. Let's see how far I can go with this. All right, I think this is going to be the fight that has me taking the L, but it's also partially because I got frozen by a Tri-Attack from a Porygon 2, so you know what? It seems like it was just meant to be. I think I just go ahead and go for Heat Wave here, try to do as much damage as possible, but this is probably going to be GG's. Yeah, the freeze into the Ice Shard anyway. To be fair, I don't know if the freeze mattered actually there, if I was getting killed by that Ice Shard regardless. Let's see, Donphan, I do a lot of damage to. I do take it out, but Porygon Z is going to live. I don't know if I can beat this thing. I do have Quick Claw. Let's see if that matters. I think my best bet now is to go for Fire Blast and hit it. Heat Wave does only 18%. Like, Heat Wave just does nothing. I think I have to hit a Fire Blast here. So, we're going to go for it. Do we hit? Are we not dead yet? We're not done yet? Oh, it's so close. Tri-Attack comes out. I think I can just Heat Wave here, which is 90% accurate, which still could miss. Like, I think that's the best play. Heat Wave is 90, Fly is 95. What are the odds physical fly? I'm just going to Heat Wave. We do get the Quick Claw. If we missed there based on the, you know, it's unlucky, I think I probably should fly there technically, but we'll take it. I don't think the Quick Claw mattered. I think we were going first anyway. We outsped. Ugh, that was the closest one by far so far. Opponent number 4 in, I have no idea, round number 4. I don't know what rotation we're in. And I've used a little bit more strategy here because we were against like a team earlier that was Pelipper and Noctowl, so I didn't just spam Control Z Earthquake into the 2 flying types. You know, like I am using a little more strategy here and there. If you like, obviously here's the situation. I'm gonna go ahead and Draco Meteor on the Steelix actually because it's way more likely to have Sturdy, whereas the you know, the Nidoking might not. So that's a quick little like extra little click, takes almost 0 time, allows me to one-shot both these Pokemon here. I'm still just doing this while watching YouTube on the side, which is the best way to play PokeMMO. I see you on your second monitor. All right, this is another 7th battle. So after I win this, or if I can win this, I think I should be able to, hopefully with those double bird lead. If I'm able to win this, I should get a nice chunk of BP. We started this once again with 3, oh my goodness, my BP. We started this dumb little test grind with 3,615 BP, and now we're up to over 5K. Battle Frontier might be way better for BP than I realized, which is a massive W for the account. This is getting me hyped up. This is a bit of a game changer. This changes what BP items I'll be able to get. Getting Choice Scarfs for PvP a lot easier. Getting that Toxic Orb that I need for catching Pokemon and for Ditto farming. This is going to unlock a lot of things. Also, I think this fight is definitely over. I mean, look at this. We're about to obliterate this Quagsire, obliterate this Fortress. I probably should. Well, the Fortress probably has 30. I could have arguably Draco Meteored the Fortress there, but the Quagsire also most definitely lives the Eruption, so Control Z-ing there for time is honestly totally fine, and this fight should be over. We have all of our Pokemon still alive. All right, here is the final KO with that nice little Draco Meteor. Dude, this strategy is working perfectly. Just Eruption, Typhlosion, Draco Meteor dropping Salamence. This is beautiful. It's working very, 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 very well. This is going to kick us out of the battle, you know, sequence there. Let's go see how much BP is this. I have no idea. 850, 5,940. Are you kidding me? We have gained, I've not been doing this for that long. 5,940 minus 3,615 was what we started with. I've gained 2325 BP. And I want to say maybe 30 minutes to an hour, to be fair. I lost track of time for sure. But wow. I think it's been closer to that 30-minute, maybe like 30 to 40, probably 45 minute is my total. My final guess is 45 minutes. I've been working on this. I'm going to jump right. I'm going to keep going until I lose. I do think I'm going to lose very, very soon here. I'd be really shocked if I could win 7 more. Somehow the Control Z BP train keeps on a rolling. I will say I'm using a little bit more strategy. I shouldn't say Control Z because I am using a little bit more strategy here, but I'm clicking pretty quickly. 1,000 BP. That would have taken me at least 1 hour of PvP, if not way more. That's actually huge. That is so much in 7 fights. That's awesome. I'm going to keep going until I lose. That's the motto. Surely it'll be this time, right? All right, I think somehow, crazily enough, this might be 7 more fights and a ton more BP. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to break this record, dude. This has been such a streak. I did have to fight against a Rest Sleep Talk Tauros. There were some tough fights in there. Let's see, 1,300 BP. Now we're up to 8,290 BP. If I can win like 1 more fight, I think I'll have enough for a new choice item, which is insane how fast this has happened. But once again, a choice item is actually not what I'm going for right now. If anything, the thing I need the most is that Toxic Orb. I need it more than ever with the Breloom being leveled up. And with that new Gliscor comp that I just bred earlier in the episode, and a Toxic Orb is only 6,400 BP. So we should be able to get that. We just can get that now if I want to. Now, I wonder how much. The problem is there's a lot of things here that I actually want/need. How much would it be for everything? I kind of want to do a quick little calculation to see at least a lot of the main stuff. I got an extra Choice Scarf. I'm going to see how much BP I theoretically need. All right, well, if I added up everything correctly, turns out I need about 88,000 battle points to get everything that I need over here. And that's not even including a bunch of small little stuff like stocking up on air balloons and red cards, eject buttons, other niche items. But to get one of everything, like a Covert Cloak, a Wise Glasses, which does come up in certain raids, it's pretty niche, but it is including every little niche item, Rocky Helmet, Loaded Dice, Safety Goggles, Protective Pads, like these are all relevant items that I've used in certain raids, EV Lights, Assault vests, heavy duty boots. This is also just assuming one of each of these items. I'm gonna eventually want probably at least 3 choice bands, 3 choice scarves, 3 choice specs, something like that. 1 EV light is probably fine, to be fair, but maybe 2 one day down the road. Yeah, you need multiple of certain items. So this is just, to put it with lack of a better word, insane. I'm gonna need well over 100,000 BP. Let's just even it out and say that I need 100,000 BP. And let's say that I can farm about 2,000 BP per hour. It's not as crazy as a goal as it seems, even though it seems like, you know, long term it's so much more difficult to farm BP. That's about 50 hours of farming BP. Is that a lot of hours of brain dead monotonous grinding? Yes, but over the, you know, entire career of an account, could be a lot worse. And even though I said I wasn't going to stop until I lost, I think I just am going to keep winning for a while. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just cut my losses and finish up for today. I'm going to go buy this Toxic Orb though. Boom. That is a massive goal off of the account completed. We can now use our Catching Breloom a lot more effectively, as well as use that Gliscor comp in PvP. I'm going to head back up here. And I'm also going to do one more thing. I want to specifically register this team of Pokemon over to what is called a battle box so I don't forget. A battle box is a box, basically a way to keep track of PvP teams and if PvM teams if you want to, like I'm doing. It's a way to keep track of certain Pokemon, keep track of teams so you can quickly and easily grab them or queue up for certain PvP battles with them. This is going to allow me to remember this in the future so I can come back and stomp some more Battle Tower. But that is probably winding down the progress for this episode. I will see you guys tomorrow on Saturday for the upcoming Johto Safari Zone catch event with a shiny Lapras prize. And then after that, we'll go over our goals and see how much we gained in this episode, which I think is honestly kind of a lot. And I hope you guys are excited for the next episode because I very much am when we kick things off next week by playing 28 hours at least, almost all in a row, back to back, just making progress, hunting for those legendaries, and giving us the last chance to get that Articuno and or Raikou. But for now, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early for the catch event. All right, good morning. We are live over at the Johto Safari Zone catch event. I have no idea what the best strat is. I'm going to be super honest. I am just running around, testing stuff, seeing what works, catching a few Pokemon for the Pokedex. I'm sure I'm going to be traveling around to all different Safari Zones in the Johto Safari Zone. I'm not going to be doing the most efficient strat. I'm going to be testing things, having fun, and just seeing what works. I think it's a lot of the fun of these Safari Zone catch events. It's almost increased RNG because you're in the Safari Zone. It's harder to catch those Pokemon, right? You're able to do different weird strategies. And I don't know if there is a one strategy for this event that's been planned out that is the best, right? It's a lot of people the species bonuses vary so much. I think a lot of people are just testing stuff and having fun. So we're going to see what happens. The Manectric encounter, I'm going to see some random stuff like this. Hopefully try to catch whatever I can. Yeah, a lot of it's fleeing, but that's okay. We've already added Spheal to the Pokedex. We started today with our Pokedex at 208. Let's see what we end on today. Well, okay, I don't know if this is... Yo, that's pretty good. Oh my god, what's the species bonus? Lapras doesn't... Oh no, it's plus 10. I was like, does Lapras not count for the event? Okay, I don't think this is a play... Oh, this is really good, though. This is a 162 score. I don't think this is placement worthy. Dude, he can't keep getting away with it, bro. I don't think that's placement worthy, but it's a nice catch. That's what I'll say. I don't think it's placement worthy, but it's a nice catch. If I get third place with that, I'd be very shocked, but we'll have to see. I will say, dude, this Johto Safari Zone was very strange. I had a really hard time. It was really hard to catch Pokemon, you know? Very, very difficult. I caught way less Pokemon in this. Check time clock, it ended. Oh my god, the event. Wait, did I catch it too late even? The event ended 1 minute ago. Wait, that would be really funny. I'm so distracted. There's so much happening today. For reference, we just got confirmation there's a big PokeMMO in-game update coming with an in-game encounter counter. So I've been very distracted. I caught it 1 second after the event ended. Okay, it shouldn't matter. If third place is a 162 or it has to be a 161. If third place is a 161 or below, it's my fault. I just was too slow and distracted by what's happening today. But it would be really fucking funny if I miss out on third place because of 1 second. That would be pretty crazy, but it's also deserved. So we'll see what happens. Let's just see who wins. I doubt it'll be a problem, but let's see. That was fucking wacky. All right, we have catch event results, boys. 4th place, Magmachad, 20 points. Congratulations to him. A very, very typical 4th place win. Congratulations to you, gamer. I'm really excited to see 3rd place. I'm excited but scared. I'm hoping that 3rd place is a 162 or higher. If it's a 162 or higher, I have nothing to worry about. If 3rd place is a 160, which is unlikely, but it's possible with how difficult catches were for this event, I fucked up. Okay, what? Okay, no, I had nothing to worry about, chat. I was overstressing. I was being dramatic. 177 is 3rd place? Holy, I knew the species bonuses were high in this event, but like, oh, okay, I was stressing for nothing. My Lapras was never gonna win, which is honestly a good thing for me. Holy shit. I'd rather that, because I caught this Lapras, for those who didn't see, 1 second too late in the event, which would have been really funny. Dude, congratulations. Sad Thomas, 177. 3rd place, 177 is, oh my goodness. I knew some of the species bonuses were high, but wow. You caught a 172? Dude, that's... I feel bad for people who caught like 172s, 173s, and like thought they would have had a chance to win. That's a really good catch in most catch events. Oh, that's so brutal. No, I agree with you, Duck. I thought it was going to be a mixture of the species bonus. I thought the Pokemon themselves were just so difficult to catch, Duck. That's what I caught very few. Maybe more than I realized, though. Carpinator, 180. Congratulations, dude. Love that name. Carpinator, Magic Carpinator, dude. Congratulations. A score of 180 is fantastic. And 1st place, drum roll, ... Let's see, in 1st place, Slickback, bro. Got the slick back hair with the sloppy steaks. 183 points, man. Congratulations. I'm curious what the species was that he caught. I wonder if he'll link it. Congratulations to him, dude. He just won himself a shiny Lapras, which is beautiful, dude. That shiny Lapras, for those who know, is like a 500-hour shiny hunt on average. It might even be... Shiny Lapras is like... You have to, I think it's 20% chance to encounter, and then like 20% chance to, or like 40% chance to catch, or something like 40% chance to encounter, something like that, right? So I think you end up catching or encountering. Lapras ends up being, running back and forth, I'm trying to think. I think it's like a I think it might be like a 1,000-hour hunt. It's like really, really, really hard. It's because it's like 500 hours. I think if it's 20% chance to encounter, it would be 500 hours to see one Lapras. And then if it's like a 40% chance to catch, or 20%, you have to find 5 of them. It could be a 2,500-hour hunt, but I don't think it's that long. I think it's somewhere around 1,000 hours would be my guess. So he just saved himself over 1,000 hours by winning that catch event. Congratulations to him. That's awesome to see. All right, we did it. We completed another catch event, and it was a lot of fun. I feel like we made a ton of progress in this episode, but to be sure, let's go ahead and do our conclusion and go over what goals we achieved in episode 7 of the PokeMMO Iron Man. As always, before we show off the goals notepad document, I like to cover the main, like, sort of little goal check marks, which is our Pokeyen stack, our encounters, and our hours played. So we are at 767,000 Pokeyen, 2,700 encounters, and ending the episode with 368 hours played on the account. We're also ending with 211 Pokemon caught OT in our Pokedex, which is something we'll be wanting to focus a lot more on very soon here. There's just so many things to do beforehand, and there's just so much to do in general, so I definitely get distracted. There's so many goals to take care of, which is an exciting thing. Sometimes you have so many goals to where it feels overwhelming, you'll never get to them all, but with something like goals in PokeMMO, it's a fun thing. The more you have to do, the better. You're in no rush to do it all right now, it's just a matter of doing it over time. That's my current mental and thought process, at least when it comes to these goals. I'm very excited for it to have a giant list. Let's go ahead and actually check over our list. All right, first things first, tier 1 goals, catching Breloom. I'm going to go ahead and consider this done. It's not level 100, but we do have a Toxic Orb for it now. We have a Toxic Orb for our Poison Heal catching Breloom. We gave it False Swipe, Spore, and Substitute, so it's full in C-Bomb, so it's fully moveset. Its EV Train moveset has the item that it needs, which is one of the most difficult parts with that BP farm. It just needs to be level 100, and that can happen over time. So that is a completed goal, if you ask me. Next up, Sinnoh complete. Obviously didn't do that. Still no Articuno, still no Raikou. Hopefully we catch one or both of these in the upcoming Streamathon, which will kick off episode 8 of the Iron Man account. I'm very excited for that. There'll be a ton of time put into the account. Still didn't finish up that HM Dragonite. Should focus on that. Still didn't train up Shiny Corsola. These are pretty easy short-term goals I've just kind of delayed. 30 Amulet coins. Didn't get up to, I think I have like 19 or so we're somewhat close to that. And then have 6 mediocre comps. I actually don't know if this goal is achieved. It might be, it might not be. Let's go check our boxes. The way I'm going to do that is 2 things. I'm going to search for Pokemon with 20 plus in all the attack stats and defense stats, and then look to see what, Pokemon I have. So here's number 1, for example. That is a competitive Pokemon. The Corsola is an EV train, so I won't count that. The Hitmontop is done. That is number 1. Next up, we have like the Gligar over here. We have some that are like not trained up. Do we count? I don't think we count trained up, like untrained. I think they have to be trained to count as competitive Pokemon. So we've got 1 over there. This is not of correct nature. Only 1 if you're counting those. Now we do have, to be fair, this Salamence is a really good comp. We have this over in our inventory. So that is 2 if you count Salamence. Let's go ahead and then check special attack stats and see what we got. 2 so far is our number. I don't think we're going to have that many more. The Tentacruel, but it's not, once again, not EV trained or XP trained. So I don't think we have a PvP team here. We have Pokemon that could be comps and stuff, but they're not trained. They're not EV trained, they're not leveled, and they're definitely not moveset. So that is going to be a no for me, dog, on the have 6 mediocre comps. I do not think we have that achieved. All right, but now on to tier 2 goals, aka our medium term length goals, and we do have one of these. We got ourselves a Horde Shiny, our first Horde Shiny, Shiny Ponyta, man, a new shiny Pokemon in this episode. This just absolutely came out of nowhere when I was doing Amulet Twin farming, and I still just haven't, I've kind of just skipped over it. It hasn't really processed. It's such a crazy one to see, and I have a lot of history with Ponyta, so it's kind of poetic. Thankfully, I'm not too upset about this Ponyta. Next up, Toxic Orb. We did get that. That is our next medium-term goal achieved. And I do actually want to add a new goal on this list and then check it off. I don't like to do this because I don't want to just do something in an episode and then be like, oh, that can count as a completed goal. Like, I'm not trying to fudge extra goals completed at the end, but I think this is a really important one. Test Battle Frontier. I think if I thought about it ahead of time, that would have been a good goal. So that we did do that, and I'm really proud of that. Really glad we did. That was something that was like pretty impromptu, and I wasn't really planning to do that this episode. And that was a great example of I did something on a whim and was rewarded vehemently for it, which is a really good thing to encourage you guys always to try new things in Pokemon when you have the energy and maybe don't have a whole lot of direction on where to go for that day. Make a PvP team. We do not have that quite yet. We're getting closer and closer. Choice Scarf, nope. Still haven't started berry farming. Another similar thing to Battle Frontier. Haven't gotten that yet. We did get all of our synchronized Pokemon, though. That was a really cool goal to shoot for. And honestly, was pretty lucky on it overall. That was a really fun one to just do on stream casually. Just sort of catch those Abras and talk to chat. It was a really fun on-stream goal. And that will help us tremendously in the future with all catch events, and even just farming Pokemon. The amount of Mons you have to farm in the Safari Zone where you can lead Synchronize or fish Pokemon or et cetera, it's going to help me catch many breeders down the line. Anytime I want to breed a Pokemon, let's say like a competitive Crocodile, for example, or let's do one I don't have, right? Like, let's say I want to breed a competitive Rhydon, for example. I'm going to go grab an Adamant or a Brave or a Jolly or whatever nature I might need, synchronized Pokemon, and go catch Rhyhorns and Rhydons, because that nature is more difficult to get than the IVs on an Iron Man account especially. Still have not achieved 30,000 encounters because I'm so freaking lucky. Haven't even gone that dry yet. Obviously, we have 30,000 encounters. I think total we might have that many or a little bit over that, but we have not gotten that many encounters in one shot, which is what that goal stands for. Breed a 5x31 Pokemon. We did this, dude. That was like the second hardest challenge I think I've ever done on the account, aside from the XP Reamplifier. That 5x31 Charmander breed, which was a lot of this episode, that was the second largest goal we've done on this account, in my opinion. And then 4x31 and or 3x31 plus 25 plus Pokemon breeds. I don't know if we have this. Let's go check our boxes again. This also assumes correct nature. The point of this is to have like good usable Pokemon. It can't just be randomly 4x31. I'm pretty sure they also have to have correct nature as the thought process there. Well, I mean, honestly, maybe not, because that assumes they're just comps at that point, so maybe it is a little bit different. Honestly, it's an interesting one. Like, this strategy is a great example. This strategy is not perfect nature. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a Pokemon that fits these standards that I'm mentioning. This is what I mean. So this strategy, the Cloyster is a decent. This was caught though, not bred. This is one. We need 3 different of these. One. Let's go see over on our account. That doesn't. I didn't breed that. That was wild caught. The Charmander, I mean, counts. It's better, right? 2. So we have about 2 there. We didn't breed the Salamence. We wild caught that, right? I think we're at 2 so far. Is our current count on that? Yes. If I'm checking everything correctly. Let's go check this box. Is there like a decent comp over here that could be usable, or a decent? No, I think we're at 2 out of 3 on that. So we're almost there. We are almost there. Just not quite. And then over in the long-term goals, we did complete. This kind of stacks with the other one, 5x31 Charizard. It's kind of the same as a 5x31 Pokemon, but the Charizard was a very specific one, so I do want to count that as an extra goal. I very specifically needed a Charizard so I could actually use my fire ability patch without guilt and use it for raids. Next up, Fly Ocarina. We did a lot, man. Fly Ocarina also achieved this episode. That is going to allow me to do gym reruns a lot easier. I've been able to be way more consistent, make more Pokeyen, and level more Pokemon a lot easier using the Fly Ocarina. And that is our final goal achieved. Let's do our before and after. What our completed goals list looked like before, and how many we completed in this episode. All right, on the left-hand side over here, you can see the completed goals prior to this episode, and on the right, you can see the little separation down there at Catch Umbrella to see the newly completed goals. We completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new goals this episode. Wow. That's way more than I expected. I was hoping for like 6 or so. We completed 8 new goals in this episode. We got ourselves a proper Catching Breloom, a Horde Shiny, a Toxic Orb. We tested the Battle Frontier. We got all of our synchronized Pokemon. We bred a 5x31 Pokemon, bred a 5x31 specific Charizard, and got a Fly Ocarina. 8 goals in 1 episode, dude. That is amazing. I don't know if we'll be able to see that every episode from now on. That's a lot. That was a lot. I played a lot this week. I had a lot of fun. I was really passionately driven this week to do a lot of things and do a lot of Articuno hunting, but that didn't work out. Hopefully in episode 8, we see that puzzle finally solved. But thank you guys so much for watching another episode of the PokeMMO Iron Man account. I'm having a blast. I hope that you guys enjoy watching the videos at least half as much as I enjoy making them, because if so, you're probably a pretty happy camper. This was an amazing episode to do. A lot of fun, a lot of push, a lot of passion, a lot of goals to do, and a lot more to do next episode. I will see you guys next time for episode 8, which will kick off with a 28+ hour streamathon, where there will be a lot of progress made, all on the Iron Man account. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if not, subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon videos every single day, follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET, my Discord's links down below if you want to join a really cool community who loves this game, or see updates on my content when I upload, when I'm live, etc, etc. And if you want to go above and beyond and support my content, the best way to do so is actually getting 50% off of food using the first link in the description by signing up for HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a great meal service where they send you ingredients, the perfect amount of ingredients, and directions on how to cook a meal, and it helps you get into cooking, learn new recipes, and it's a great way to impress your partner or spouse. I love cooking HelloFresh for my wife. It's some of the best meals we have in this home, even though both of us are pretty competent chefs. HelloFresh just gives you the tools to really go above and beyond, and I love the product. I recommend it. It supports me, and you get awesome food in the process. Check out that link in the description, or you could go ahead and YouTube membership, subscribe to me on YouTube for $5 or $6 a month to support me there. You could do Twitch Prime, Twitch sub. If you have Amazon Prime, you can support me for free over on Twitch. Gifted subs if you want to give to the community, and PayPal and Venmo donations are always amazing as well. But thank you guys for your time. Lastly, thank you for your time. That's all that really matters. Have a great day. I'll see you guys. Have a good one. Enjoy PokeMMO. And for now, peace-a-rito. Yo, what's up? Outro Petrowski here, and I wanted to take this time to say thank you to everyone who goes above and beyond and supports my channel. Your names are all listed here. You make it possible for me to make helpful and mildly entertaining content for the game that I love, and make it available for free for everyone to enjoy. Thank you so much for allowing me to even be here.